Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Frieza became a god of destruction? Subscribe if you enjoy the video. And also check the description. So let's begin the story. The Tournament of Power was ending, not with a whimper. Never that. The Void Realm trembled as Jiren's final attack carved reality itself into ribbons of screaming light. Goku had fallen. Vegeta was unconscious. Android 17 fought alone, desperate, outmatched. Universe 7 was going to die. Frieza lay broken against a floating pillar of crystallized nothing. His golden form flickered like a dying star. Blood, his blood, that impossibly purple ichor, pooled beneath him. Every breath was agony, every heartbeat a countdown. He could hear them. The other universes. Cheering for their annihilation. Typical. How pathetic, he whispered to himself. His tail twitched. Barely. The mighty Frieza, reduced to this. Jiren's energy signature flared again. Building. That monster was preparing something catastrophic. Android 17 wouldn't survive it. Universe 7 wouldn't survive it. Frieza's mind raced. He'd clawed his way back from hell itself. Twice. Trained for 4 months and achieved golden form. Fought alongside his most hated enemy. Endured humiliation after humiliation in this wretched tournament. Played nice with the monkey and his insufferable friends. For what? To be erased alongside them? No, that wasn't acceptable. Frieza's fingers dug into the crystal pillar. His arms shook. His entire body screamed protest. The golden form flickered, died, returned as basic white. He was empty. Completely depleted. But Frieza had never let something as trivial as impossibility stop him before. He stood. The movement sent lightning bolts of pain through every nerve. His legs threatened to buckle. His vision swam with black spots. Somewhere in the stands, Beerus was shouting. Whis remained silent, staff glowing softly. Frieza took one step, then another. Android 17 noticed him. Frieza! Stay down! You can't. Silence. The word came out as a hiss. I have endured far too much to perish here. Jiren turned. Those massive eyes fixed on Frieza with something almost resembling respect. You should rest, Frieza. This battle is not over until I say it's over. Golden aura exploded around Frieza. Impossible. He had no energy left. The transformation should have been impossible. It didn't matter. Willpower alone kept the form active. Pure, concentrated spite given physical manifestation. Frieza's lips pulled back in that terrifying smile. The one that had preceded the extinction of 1,000 species. Shall we dance, muscle-bound fool? Jiren powered up. The void realm shook. Android 17 understood immediately. He's buying time. For me too. Do whatever it is you androids do, Frieza interrupted. Win. Survive. I care not. Just make my sacrifice worth something. The word hung in the air. Sacrifice. Frieza had never said that word before. Not about himself. Not genuinely. Jiren launched forward. Frieza met him midair. The collision generated a shockwave that sent the gods of destruction leaning back in their seats. Punch met punch. Kick countered kick. But Frieza was fading. Fast. His golden form flickered. Jiren's fist caught him in the ribs. Something cracked. Several somethings. Frieza tasted blood. He smiled wider. Is that all? Another punch. His arm broke. Pathetic. Jiren grabbed him by the throat. Lifted him high. Those emotionless eyes studied Frieza like a specimen. Why? Jiren asked. You hate them. Why die for them? Frieza's answer came through bloody teeth. Because this universe is mine to torment. Not yours. He headbutted Jiren. The Pride Trooper didn't even flinch, but it bought seconds. Android 17 was moving. Strategy forming. The barrier specialist was setting something up. Jiren's energy gathered. Point-blank range. This would erase Frieza from existence. No hell. No afterlife. Just nothing. Goodbye, Frieza. See you in oblivion, fool. The blast came. Frieza's world became white fire. Pain beyond description. Then nothing. Then, sensation returned slowly. Frieza expected hell. or perhaps true death. Emptiness. The void. Instead, he found himself standing in a corridor of light, not metaphorical light. Actual, physical luminescence that seemed to exist without source. The walls, if they could be called walls, shifted between colors that had no names. Geometries that hurt to perceive. Frieza looked down at himself, whole, unbroken. His body restored to perfection. Golden form inactive but available. He could feel the power thrumming beneath his skin. How curious, he murmured. Isn't it? Frieza spun. A figure stood behind him. Tall. Impossibly tall. Robes that seemed woven from mathematics and starlight. The face was gentle, almost grandfatherly, but the eyes held the weight of creation itself. The Grand Priest. Frieza had seen him at the tournament, presiding over everything with that serene smile. This close, the being's power was overwhelming. Not aggressive. Just present, like standing next to the concept of existence itself. I died, Frieza stated. Not a question. You did. Quite heroically, I might add. The Grand Priest clasped his hands behind his back. Android 17 won, by the way. Universe 7 survives. How delightful. Frieza's voice dripped sarcasm. So this is the afterlife? Rather pretentious. The Grand Priest laughed. Actually laughed. The sound echoed through impossible dimensions. No, Lord Frieza. This is a place between. A pocket of non-space I've created specifically for this conversation. How flattering. And the purpose? To make you an offer. Frieza's eyes narrowed. I'm listening. The Grand Priest began walking. The corridor stretched ahead of him, endless. Frieza followed, because what else was there to do? Tell me, Frieza. What do you know of the gods of destruction, lazy cats who destroy planets when they're bored? Frieza's tail swished. Beerus nearly killed me once. I hold grudges. A simplistic view, but not entirely inaccurate. The Grand Priest's smile never wavered. However, their role is far more complex. They maintain universal balance. Prune the dead branches. Create space for new growth. Without them, the cosmos stagnates. Dies from the inside. Fascinating philosophy. What does it have to do with me? Lord Beerus is retiring. Frieza stopped walking. What? He served for 75 million years. Longer than most. The role weighs heavily on even the most durable souls. The Grand Priest turned to face him fully. We need a replacement. Someone with the proper temperament. The implication crashed into Frieza like a meteor. You can't be serious. I am always serious, Lord Frieza. Though I understand your skepticism. The Grand Priest gestured, and the corridor dissolved. They stood now in a spherical chamber. Stars swirled around them. Galaxies spun in miniature. You possess qualities most gods lack. Ambition. Intelligence. The will to make difficult decisions without hesitation. And most importantly, the Grand Priest's eyes gleamed. You understand the value of fear. Frieza's mind raced. God of destruction. Him. The tyrant who'd ruled through terror becoming a literal deity of annihilation. The irony was delicious. There must be a catch. Several, actually. The Grand Priest counted on his fingers. The training will be excruciating. You'll be paired with an angel attendant, Whis, in your case. You'll need to master Hakai energy, which tends to consume those unworthy of it. And should you succeed, he paused, you'll be bound to this role. For millennia. Perhaps forever. Your empire? Gone. Your revenge schemes? Irrelevant. You'll serve the multiverse, not yourself. Frieza processed this. Every word. Every implication. He thought of his empire. The Frieza Force. His throne. His territory. Ashes. All of it. Destroyed by Goku and the Z Fighters years ago. He thought of revenge. Sweet, beautiful vengeance against the Saiyans. And how hollow it had become. He'd achieved golden form specifically to kill Goku. And where had it gotten him? Trapped in hell. Then resurrected to fight alongside that monkey. The revenge was stale. The empire was dust. What did he have left? Pride. Power. The hunger to be more. And here, impossibly, was a path to godhood. Literal. Actual. Divine power. Frieza smiled. When do we begin? The Grand Priest snapped his fingers. Reality folded. They stood now in a realm of crystalline structures that defied physics. Towers of frozen time. Rivers of liquid space. The sky, if it could be called sky, showed every universe simultaneously. Frieza could see them. 12 bubbles of existence, each containing infinite galaxies. Welcome to the sacred world of the Kais, the Grand Priest said. Redesigned for your purposes. Charming! Whis will be your instructor. The Grand Priest gestured, and the angel appeared. Blue skin. White hair. That eternally pleasant expression that made Frieza want to punch him. Whis bowed slightly. Lord Frieza. How unexpected. I imagine it is. Frieza examined his surroundings. So, how does one become a god? Painfully, Whis replied cheerfully. First, we'll need to destroy your current form entirely. Excuse me? Whis tapped his staff against the crystalline ground. You're a mortal, Frieza. Fourth-dimensional at best. Gods of destruction exist in the fifth dimension. Your body, energy signature, even your soul needs fundamental restructuring. That sounds agonizing. Oh, it is. Tremendously so. Whis smiled like he just offered tea. Most candidates don't survive the first week. Shall we begin? The Grand Priest vanished without ceremony. Just there one moment, gone the next. Frieza stood alone with Whis in this impossible place. I have one question, Frieza said. Yes? Why me? Truly. There must be thousands of beings more qualified. Whis's expression shifted. Just slightly. The pleasant mask dropped for a fraction of a second, revealing something ancient and calculating beneath. Because, Frieza, you're the only mortal in Universe 7 who's earned a god's genuine attention. Beerus respects you. I find you fascinating. The Grand Priest sees potential. Whis tilted his head. And because you're already halfway to becoming a monster. We're simply refining you. The words should have been insulting. Instead, Frieza felt flattered. Well then, let's begin my ascension. Whis raised his staff. As you wish. Do try not to scream too loudly. The other universes are sleeping. Energy erupted. Pain, not the clean pain of battle. Not the sharp agony of broken bones. This was dissolution. Frieza's very atoms were being rewritten. His golden form activated automatically, desperately, trying to protect him. It wasn't enough. Hakai energy poured into him like molten darkness. It found every weakness, every imperfection, every limitation of his mortal form. And it burned them away. Frieza screamed. His body twisted, elongated, condensed. The white bioarmor that covered his skin cracked. Purple light bled through the fractures. His tail thrashed wildly, smashing against crystal structures that didn't break. Breathe through it, Whis advised calmly. The energy is replacing your mortal essence. Fighting it only makes it worse. I'll kill you. Yes, yes. Very threatening. Now focus. Frieza's mind felt like it was being compressed in a vice. Memories flickered. His childhood on planet Frieza. His father's cruel tutelage. The first planet he'd destroyed. The exquisite terror in his victim's eyes. All of it was being catalogued. Examined. Judged by forces beyond comprehension. The Hakai energy found his golden form. Studied it. Then, evolved it, purple mixed with gold. New colors emerged. His aura shifted from the blazing yellow of his ultimate transformation to something darker. Violet edges. Black core. Lightning that seemed to erase space where it struck. His body followed suit. The white bioarmor deepened to lavender. Purple patches spread across his arms, legs, chest. His horns elongated, curving back like a crown. His eyes, those crimson orbs that had struck fear across galaxies, now glowed with inner light, divine light. The transformation took 3 days. Frieza didn't sleep, didn't eat, didn't rest. He simply endured while his entire existence was rewritten at the quantum level. When it finally ended, he collapsed. Whis caught him before he hit the ground. Surprisingly gentle. Well done. You survived the first ignition. Many don't. How many transformations? Frieza gasped. 7 total. This was merely the first. Frieza laughed. It came out as a ragged cough. Magnificent. When's the next one? In 3 days. You'll need to master your new form first. Whis helped him stand. Look at yourself. A mirror materialized. Crystal surface reflecting perfectly. Frieza stared at the being looking back. It was him. Undeniably him. But changed. The proportions were subtly wrong. Too perfect, too symmetrical. His skin had taken on a faint luminescence. When he moved, the air around him rippled. I look like a demon from ancient mythology, he murmured. You look like a destroyer, Whis corrected. Now. Let's see if you can walk without reality bending around you. Frieza took a step. The ground cracked. Not from force. It simply couldn't handle his presence anymore. The crystalline structure fractured in geometric patterns, spreading outward like ice on glass. Fascinating, Frieza breathed. I'm not even trying. Exactly the problem. Whis tapped his staff. The ground repaired itself. Gods must control their power constantly. Let it slip for even a moment, and you'll destroy everything around you. Including yourself. Control has never been my weakness. We'll see. The training began in earnest. Day 5. Frieza stood at the edge of a platform suspended in non-space. Below him, nothing. Above him, the 12 universes rotated slowly. The exercise is simple, Whis explained. Reach that platform. He pointed to a crystal structure exactly 1 meter away. Without destroying it, Frieza eyed the distance. Child's play. He jumped. The platform exploded into powder the instant his foot touched it. Again, Whis said pleasantly. Frieza reset. Jumped. Explosion. Again. Jump. Explosion. Again. By the 50th attempt, Frieza was snarling. This is ridiculous. I'm barely using any force. That's the problem. You're used to mortal physics. Divine energy doesn't work the same way. Whis created another platform. Your very presence exerts pressure on reality. You must learn to retract it. Pull your power inward rather than letting it radiate outward. That makes no sense. Nevertheless, Frieza tried again. This time, he focused on containment. Imagining his energy as a sphere around him, pulling it tighter and tighter. His foot touched the platform. It cracked. But didn't explode. Better! Whis clapped. Only 7,000 more successful jumps, and we can move on to the next exercise. Frieza wanted to murder him, but he jumped again, and again, and again. Day 12, Frieza could walk now without destroying his surroundings. Mostly. Occasionally, he'd get distracted and accidentally erase a boulder or cause spatial distortions. But progress was progress. Now for combat training, Whis announced. Finally. Something interesting. Don't get too excited. Whis spun his staff. You won't be fighting me. You'll be fighting yourself. The air shimmered. A perfect duplicate of Frieza materialized. Same purple-tinted form. Same divine energy. It grinned at him with his own face. Destroy it, Whis instructed. But don't kill it. And don't let it touch you. And don't damage the surrounding area. Those are contradictory requirements. Welcome to being a destroyer. The duplicate attacked. Frieza moved on instinct. Blocked the first punch. Countered with a tail strike. The duplicate caught his tail, spun, threw him into a crystal pillar. The pillar shattered. You failed, Whis called. Again. Frieza growled. Reset. The duplicate attacked. This time, Frieza was ready. He dodged instead of blocking. Let the duplicate's momentum carry it past him. Struck at a pressure point, but his touch disintegrated part of the duplicate's shoulder. Failed. Again. This is impossible. For a mortal, yes. For a god. Whis smiled. It's basic competence. Frieza tried again, and again. By attempt 300, he was learning. The trick wasn't power. It was precision. Threading the needle between too much force and too little. Finding the exact threshold where he could damage without destroying. The duplicate came at him. Frieza sidestepped. Struck at the nerve cluster in its neck with exactly enough pressure to stun, not annihilate. The duplicate froze, paralyzed. Excellent! Whis applauded. Now do it 999 more times consecutively without error. Frieza closed his eyes. Breathed. Continued training. Day 27. The second ignition happened without warning. Frieza was meditating, something he'd never done in his mortal life but was now required, when the Hakai energy surged. His body seized. The divine power was evolving again, forcing his form to adapt or die. This time was worse than the first. His bones liquefied and reformed. His muscles tore apart and regrew denser. His nervous system rewired itself to handle faster processing, greater input, and possible reaction speeds. Whis watched impassively. You're doing well, the angel observed. Most candidates expire during the second ignition. Their souls can't handle the transition. Frieza couldn't respond. Couldn't scream. Couldn't even think. He simply endured. When it passed, hours later or days, time meant nothing here. Frieza emerged changed again. Stronger. Faster. His purple aura now crackled with black lightning. When he clenched his fist, space around it warped visibly. How much stronger am I? He rasped, difficult to quantify. Your current power would let you defeat your golden form from the tournament in approximately 2 seconds. Whis smiled. Of course, you still can't beat me, and we're only 2/7 of the way through your transformation. What was I before this? Frieza wondered aloud. Compared to what I'm becoming, an insect, Whis said simply. No offense intended. All mortals are insects from a divine perspective. You're shedding your cocoon. What emerges will be something else entirely. Frieza stood. Tested his new body. It responded perfectly. Every movement precise. Every iota of power under absolute control. I'm ready for more training. Oh no. Now we move to the theoretical. Excuse me? Whis gestured. The crystalline training ground dissolved. They stood now in a library. Infinite shelves stretching in all directions. Books that glowed with captured knowledge. You must understand the philosophy of destruction, Whis explained. The cosmic balance. Why we destroy. When we destroy. How we choose what lives and what dies. Frieza's face fell. You're making me read, extensively. You have approximately 7,000 volumes to complete before the third ignition. I hate you. Yes, you've mentioned. Whis handed him a tome the size of a planet. Begin with this one. It's about the fundamental nature of existence and entropy. Quite fascinating. Frieza opened the book, started reading, and discovered, to his immense surprise, that he found it genuinely interesting. Day 45. Frieza sat cross-legged in the void, book floating before him. He'd abandoned his physical form hours ago, another new ability, and existed as pure consciousness reading metaphysical texts about the nature of destruction. The role of a destroyer isn't cruelty, he read aloud. It's necessity. Stagnation is death. Growth requires pressure. The gardener who never prunes kills the garden. Whis appeared beside him, sipping tea from nowhere. You're beginning to understand. I've always understood destruction, Frieza countered. I've destroyed thousands of planets. You've committed genocide. There's a difference. Whis set down his cup. You destroyed out of profit. Or spite. Or boredom. A god of destruction serves a higher purpose. And if I don't care about higher purposes, then you'll fail the final transformation and die screaming. Whis smiled pleasantly. But I don't think you will. Why not? Because you're reading those books voluntarily now. You stopped training 2 days ago, but continued studying. Whis' eyes gleamed. You're changing, Frieza. Not just physically. Something deeper is shifting. Frieza wanted to deny it. He couldn't. The text spoke to something in him. Some part he'd never acknowledged. The part that had always known, deep down, that his empire was hollow. That ruling through fear was empty. That there were larger games to play. I destroyed planet Vegeta, Frieza said suddenly. I'm aware. I thought I did it to eliminate a threat. The legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza's voice was quiet. But I didn't. I did it because I could. Because their pride offended me. Because I wanted them to know despair before they died. And it was petty. Wasteful. Frieza laughed bitterly. I could have shaped the Saiyans into something useful. Pushed them to evolve. Instead, I exterminated them like vermin. You're being too harsh on yourself. No. I'm being honest. Frieza's eyes opened. His divine gaze fixed on Whis. I've wasted millennia on vanity and revenge. This role you're offering. Its purpose. Real purpose. Whis smiled. Genuinely this time. There's hope for you yet, Lord Frieza. Day 60. The third ignition struck during combat practice. Frieza had been sparring with a construct, a being made of pure Hawkeye energy shaped like various Universe 7 warriors. He just finished defeating a Goku replica when his body seized. The pain was different this time. Not physical. Mental. The divine energy was rewriting his consciousness itself. Frieza felt his mind expand. Thoughts that had moved at mortal speed suddenly accelerated. He could perceive 1,000 variables simultaneously. Calculate trajectory and outcome across dozens of timelines. See possibilities branching like fractals. His intelligence had always been formidable. Now it became supernatural. But with the expansion came something else. Memories flooded him. Not his own. These belonged to the role itself. Fragments of previous destroyers. Gods who had held this position before Beerus. He saw planets burning. Civilizations ending. Species going extinct. And he felt their necessity. A race of telepathic conquerors who had stagnated into complacency. Destroyed. A machine civilization that had achieved perfection and stopped growing. Destroyed. A peaceful utopia that had solved all problems and become static. Destroyed. Each destruction had birthed new life. New growth. New potential. The universe was a garden. Destroyers were the pruning shears. When the third ignition passed, Frieza understood his role in a way he never had before. You see it now, Whis observed. I do. Frieza stood. His aura had changed again. Deeper purple. Black lightning that moved with intelligence. This isn't about power. It's about balance. Exactly. And the previous me, the tyrant who ruled through fear, was preparation. You learn to make hard decisions without hesitation. To see the larger picture. To be ruthless when necessary. Whis nodded approvingly. Now you're learning when ruthlessness serves a purpose and when it's simply ego. Frieza flexed his hand. Divine energy danced across his fingers. How much longer? 4 more ignitions. Then you're ready to return to Universe 7. Whis paused. The Grand Priest will present you to Lord Beerus. If he approves, you'll assume the role. And if he doesn't, then you die, and we find another candidate. Naturally. Frieza grinned. How delightfully simple. Day 90. Frieza stood before a holographic display showing Universe 7 in its entirety. Billions of galaxies. Trillions of planets. Uncountable lifeforms. Your first assignment, Whis announced. Hypothetical, of course. That planet. He highlighted a blue-green world in a minor spiral galaxy. The inhabitants have developed slower than light travel. Their culture is stagnant. Growth has plateaued. Do you destroy it? Frieza studied the planet. Scanned its surface with his divine senses. Saw the civilizations. The art. The music. The love and hope and dreams. The old Frieza would have destroyed it without thought. The new Frieza considered. No, he said finally. Why? Stagnation isn't irreversible. Introduce a challenge. A crisis. Force them to adapt or die. Frieza manipulated the hologram, adding elements. Asteroid impact. Nothing extinction level, just enough to disrupt their complacency. They'll either evolve or prove themselves unworthy of continued existence. And if they fail, then I destroy them. But I give them the chance. Whis clapped slowly. Perfect answer. You're learning nuance. They ran through dozens of scenarios. Hundreds. Each one testing Frieza's judgment, wisdom, and understanding of cosmic balance. He passed them all. Day 120. The 4th, 5th, and 6th ignitions happened in rapid succession. Frieza's body was pushed beyond its limits. The divine energy was completing its work, transforming the last vestiges of his mortal form into something truly godly. His power level became meaningless. Numbers couldn't capture what he'd become. He existed partially outside normal space-time. His presence alone could destabilize reality if he wasn't careful. When the sixth ignition passed, Frieza looked at himself in the cosmic mirror. The being staring back was magnificent, taller than before, more regal. The purple bioarmor had become iridescent, shifting colors in the light. His tail moved with serpentine grace, leaving trails of Hawkeye energy in the air. His eyes glowed violet, burning with power that could unmake planets with a glance. But his face, still recognizably Frieza. The smirk, the sharp features, the cruel intelligence behind those eyes. The tyrant had become a god, but the god remembered being a tyrant. One more transformation, Whis said softly. The seventh ignition. Yes. The final one. It's different from the others. How so? Whis' expression grew serious. The first 6 transformations were physical, mental, spiritual. The seventh ignition is existential. It will try to erase everything that makes you Frieza. Strip away your personality, your memories, your identity. Turn you into a pure tool of cosmic function. Like Beerus? Beerus maintained fragments of himself. His love of food. His laziness. His particular humor. Whis met Frieza's gaze. But most destroyers lose everything. They become hollow. Functionaries wearing mortal masks. And you're warning me because? Because I've enjoyed training you. You're the most interesting student I've had in millennia. Whis smiled sadly. I'd hate to see you disappear. Frieza considered this. What happens if I refuse the seventh ignition? You remain as you are now. Powerful but incomplete. Not quite mortal, not quite God. Eventually, the incomplete transformation will destabilize and kill you. Slowly. Painfully. So the choice has become a hollow god or die, essentially. Frieza laughed. That rich, terrible laugh that had once heralded planetary extinction. Then I'll simply have to do the impossible, won't I? Survive the seventh ignition with my identity intact. It's never been done. I've never been conventional. Whis' smile returned. No. You certainly haven't. Day 150. The seventh ignition began at midnight. If midnight meant anything in a place without time, Frieza felt it coming. The divine energy gathering like a tsunami. He stood in the center of the crystalline training ground, arms spread wide, ready to face oblivion. The energy hit. Everything he was began to dissolve. His first memory, father's throne room. The smell of burning cities. Fear, my son, is the only true currency. Gone. His first kill, a servant who had looked at him wrong. The satisfaction of power, gone. His empire. His conquests. His humiliations. His revenge. His pride. All of it eroding like sandcastles before a cosmic tide. Frieza felt himself slipping away. No. The thought came from somewhere deep. Somewhere the divine energy couldn't quite reach. I am Frieza. I am the tyrant who destroyed planet Vegeta. Who ruled through fear. Who died and crawled back from hell itself. Who fought gods and survived. The energy pushed harder. Trying to erase. I am Frieza. I bowed to no one. I broke every being who challenged me. I am pride incarnate. I am ambition given form. The memories started to return. Fragmentary. But present. I am Frieza. The declaration echoed through dimensions. The divine energy recoiled. Not in defeat. In surprise. This had never happened before. The energy tried a different approach. Instead of erasing, it tried to integrate. Merge Frieza's identity with the divine function. Make them inseparable rather than replacing one with the other. Frieza felt the shift. Understood what it was offering. He could be himself. And be a god. The two states coexisting, supporting each other. He seized the opportunity with both hands. The transformation completed. Frieza emerged from the seventh ignition whole. Changed. Evolved. But still himself. He opened his eyes. The training ground had been destroyed. Vaporized by the energy release. He floated in void space, surrounded by swirling galaxies. Whis appeared, staff glowing. His expression was shocked. Actually shocked. You did it. You maintained coherence. Frieza grinned. That same terrible grin. Did you doubt me, frankly? Yes. Whis circled him, examining. You're the first. in all of recorded history. Every other destroyer either lost themselves or died trying to hold on. What can I say? Frieza flexed his hands. Purple-black energy crackled between his fingers. I'm exceptional. You're something, Whis agreed. The Grand Priest will want to see this. I imagine he will. Frieza looked down at himself. The transformation was complete. His body had stabilized in its divine form. Power beyond measure flowed through him. He could feel the universe now. Every planet. Every life. Every fluctuation in the cosmic balance. And he could destroy any of it with a thought. How do you feel? Whis asked. Frieza considered the question carefully. Hungry, he said finally. I've spent 3 mortal months becoming a god. Now I want to test what godhood means. Soon. First, you must return to Universe 7. Face Beerus. Receive his blessing. Whis smiled. Or his rejection. He'll accept me. Confident. I'm exceptional, remember? They returned to the sacred world. The Grand Priest was waiting, hands clasped behind his back, that gentle smile on his ancient face. Lord Frieza. You've completed your training. I have. Remarkable. Unprecedented even. The Grand Priest's eyes gleamed with something unreadable. Are you prepared to assume the mantle of God of Destruction? I am. Even knowing the responsibilities? The burdens? The sacrifices required? Frieza met his gaze without flinching. I've spent my entire existence seeking power. I destroyed planets. Built empires. Conquered galaxies. All of it was hollow. Empty. He clenched his fist. Divine energy swirled. This role has purpose. Real purpose. I would be a fool to refuse it. The Grand Priest smiled wider. Then let us return you to Universe 7. Beerus awaits. Reality folded. They materialized on Beerus's planet. The god of destruction's world. Purple grass. Orange sky. Massive tree in the center where Beerus slept for decades at a time. Beerus sat in his usual spot, oracle fish swimming in circles nearby. The cat god's eyes opened as they arrived. Whis. Grand Priest. His gaze settled on Frieza. And, what is this? Your replacement, the Grand Priest said cheerfully. Beerus stood. Slowly. Power radiated from him, ancient, terrible, vast. He walked toward Frieza with feline grace. They stood face to face. God and God candidate. You destroyed my planet once, Beerus said quietly. You destroyed my forces. Fair point. Beerus circled Frieza. Examining. Judging. You've changed. The divine energy sits well on you. Better than I expected. I'm adaptable. Are you? Beerus stopped circling. Tell me, Frieza. Why should I approve your ascension? Give me one reason. Frieza could have given 100 reasons. His power. His intelligence. His newfound understanding of cosmic balance. Instead, he gave the truth. Because I'll do the job you're too lazy to do properly. Silence. Then Beerus laughed. Actually laughed. Deep and genuine. Oh, I like that. Honesty. Refreshing. He turned to the Grand Priest. He'll do. Excellent. The Grand Priest raised his hand. Energy gathered. Frieza. Kneel. Frieza had never knelt before. Not once in his entire existence. He knelt now. The Grand Priest's hand descended. Touched Frieza's forehead. Energy poured in, different from Hakai. This was cosmic investiture. Authority. Permission. The multiverse itself acknowledging his new role. Rise, God of Destruction. Frieza stood. He felt different. Complete. The final piece of his transformation sliding into place. Your first act? Beerus asked. I'm going to Earth. To destroy it? To evaluate it. Frieza's smile was predatory. I spent months training to understand when destruction is necessary and when it isn't. Time to put that knowledge to use. Whis materialized his staff. Shall we? One moment. Frieza looked at Beerus. Thank you? For the battles. The humiliation. The lessons in humility. I needed them. Beerus snorted. Don't get sentimental. It doesn't suit you. Point taken. Frieza placed his hand on Whis' shoulder. They vanished. Left behind a retired god and an amused Grand Priest. He'll be interesting, Beerus mused. That he will, the Grand Priest agreed. They materialized above Earth. Frieza hovered in space, looking down at the blue planet that had been the site of his greatest humiliation. Where Goku had defeated him. Where he'd died screaming in rage. Now he returned as a god. The irony was exquisite. He could feel them down there. The Z Fighters. Their power levels. Goku's energy signature was unmistakable. That monkey was training, as always. Vegeta's pride radiated like a beacon. The others scattered across the globe. They didn't know yet, didn't sense what was coming. Frieza smiled. Shall we announce our presence? Whis asked. Oh yes. Frieza raised one finger. Divine energy gathered at the tip. Purple-black and crackling with destructive potential. Let's make an entrance. He released the energy. A beam of pure Hawkeye shot toward Earth. Not enough to destroy it. Just enough to announce his arrival. To let them know something had changed. The beam struck the wasteland. The same spot where he'd battled Goku decades ago. Vaporized it. Created a crater visible from orbit. And sent a shockwave of divine energy rippling across the planet. Every warrior felt it. Goku stopped mid-punch. Vegeta's eyes widened. Piccolo looked up at the sky with dawning horror. Beerus sat up in his sleep. The oracle fish whispered, "Oh my." Frieza descended slowly. Deliberately. A god returning to the site of his mortal death. His aura blazed around him. Purple and terrible. Reality bent in his presence. He landed in the crater. Waited. They came quickly. Goku first, instant transmission bringing him in a flash. His face showed confusion, then shock as he saw Frieza's new form. Frieza? What happened to you? Vegeta arrived seconds later. His expression went from anger to horror to disbelief in rapid succession. Impossible, the Saiyan prince breathed. More warriors appeared. Piccolo. Gohan. Krillin. Tien. Android 17 and 18. All of them gathering. All of them sensing what Frieza had become. Whis stood beside him, serene as always. Hello, everyone, Frieza said pleasantly. I've returned. As I'm sure you've noticed, I've experienced some upgrades. What did you do? Goku demanded. I died for you in the tournament of power. Sacrificed myself so Universe 7 could survive. Frieza's smile was razor sharp. The Grand Priest decided to reward that act. So he offered me a position. What position? Piccolo's voice was steady despite his obvious fear. Frieza's aura exploded outward. The ground cracked. The sky darkened. Divine energy rolled over them like a tsunami. God of destruction. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Goku's battle stance faltered. Vegeta took an involuntary step back. Even Android 17, who rarely showed emotion, looked shaken. You're joking, Krillin whispered. I assure you, I am not. Frieza gestured broadly. I have been trained by Whis himself. Underwent 7 divine transformations. Mastered Hawkeye energy. And now I stand before you as the new destroyer god of Universe 7. Beerus has retired. I am his replacement. Frieza's eyes glowed. And I've come to conduct my first official evaluation. Evaluation? Gohan asked carefully. Of Earth. Its civilizations. Its inhabitants. Its worthiness to continue existing. Frieza looked at each of them in turn. I will judge whether this planet serves the cosmic balance, or whether it requires pruning. Goku's fists clenched. If you think, save your threats, Son Goku. Frieza's voice cut like a blade. I am not the tyrant you defeated. I am something far more dangerous. A god with purpose. And nothing, not your Super Saiyan forms, not your Ultra Instinct, not all of you combined, can stop me if I deem this world unworthy. Silence. Terrible silence. Then Whis spoke up, cheerful as always. Of course, Lord Frieza is also bound by divine law. He cannot simply destroy on a whim. There must be legitimate cause. Balance must be served. Thank you, Whis. Very helpful. Frieza's tail swished. But he's correct. I will be fair. Thorough. But make no mistake, I am not your friend. I am your judge. Vegeta found his voice finally. This is insane. They made you a god. Ironic, isn't it? The monkey prince denied divinity while the tyrant achieves it. Frieza's smile was terrifying. But here we are. Goku took a deep breath. Then, impossibly, he smiled. Well, if you're a god now, that means you're even stronger than before, right? Considerably. Then let's fight. I want to see how powerful you've become. Everyone stared at Goku. Are you insane? Krillin hissed. That's actually not a terrible idea, Whis mused. A friendly spar would let Lord Frieza test his control and give the Saiyans a baseline for his new capabilities. Frieza considered it. The old him would have refused, or used it as an excuse for slaughter. The new him saw the strategic value. Let them measure him. Understand what he'd become. Fear and respect in equal measure. Very well. But not here. I won't risk destroying this region. He looked at Goku. The wasteland where we first battled. You remember it? The one you just vaporized? A different one. 20 kilometers north. Frieza rose into the air. Meet me there in 10 minutes. We'll see if you've improved, monkey. He vanished. Whis following. The Z fighters stood in stunned silence. This is bad, Piccolo said finally. This is very, very bad. Or very interesting, Goku countered. Come on. Let's go watch. As they prepared to follow, Vegeta grabbed Goku's arm. Kakarot. That's not Frieza anymore. That's a god who happens to remember being Frieza. If you fight him. I know. Goku's expression was serious. But someone has to take his measure. Figure out who he really is now. And I'm the only one who can survive trying. Vegeta released him. Don't die. I still need to surpass you. Wouldn't dream of it. They flew north. Toward the wasteland. Toward Frieza. Toward a confrontation that would define the new age of Universe 7. Above Earth, in the void of space, the Grand Priest watched events unfold with those ancient, knowing eyes. And so it begins, he murmured to himself. The tyrant's ascension. Let's see what you become, Frieza. God or monster. Or perhaps, he smiled, something entirely new. The wasteland stretched dead and silent. Frieza descended like a falling star. Purple aura crackling. Space distorting around him. His feet touched cracked earth without sound. Without impact. Perfect control. He'd learned that much at least. Whis materialized beside him, staff planted in the ground. You're improving. That landing would have created a crater 2 weeks ago. Progress is inevitable when one has proper motivation. Frieza examined his hands. Divine energy danced between his fingers. Purple-black lightning that hummed with destructive potential. Though I confess, the adjustment period is frustrating. You've compressed millennia of learning into 3 months. Some frustration is expected. Frieza said nothing. Simply stood there, waiting. The Z fighters arrived moments later. Goku in front, of course. Always the eager puppy. Vegeta flanking him, arms crossed, face carved from stone. The others spread out behind them. Piccolo, Gohan, the humans, the androids. All of them watching. Wary. Afraid. Good. Nice spot, Goku said, looking around. Lots of space. Nothing to accidentally destroy. How considerate of me. Frieza's tail swished. Shall we establish ground rules? I wouldn't want to accidentally erase you from existence. The paperwork would be tremendous. Paperwork? Gods have bureaucracy too, monkey. Destroying the wrong thing requires filing reports with the Grand Priest. Frieza smirked. Terribly boring. Vegeta stepped forward. If we're doing this, I want a round 2. Greedy. Frieza's eyes gleamed. But acceptable. Though I warn you both, this won't be like our previous encounters. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm measuring you. Measuring what? Piccolo called out. Frieza turned to face the Namekian. Whether Earth deserves to exist. Whether you've grown. Stagnated. Become complacent. His voice dropped. Whether pruning is necessary. The temperature seemed to plunge. You're serious, Gohan said quietly. Deadly serious. This is my function now. Judge. Execute. Maintain balance. Frieza spread his arms wide. But I'm not unreasonable. Demonstrate growth. Show me this planet produces worthy challenges. Prove evolution continues. He smiled. That terrible smile. Or convince me to erase it. Goku's expression shifted. The playful warrior vanished. Something harder emerged. You really would destroy Earth, if necessary? Without hesitation. Frieza's aura flared. That's what godhood means, Son Goku. The ability, the duty, to make impossible decisions. Can you comprehend that? The weight of holding existence in your palm? I held universal survival in my hands during the tournament of power, and panicked. Made emotional choices. Let sentiment guide you. Frieza's tail lashed. I cannot afford such luxuries. Neither can the cosmos. Silence stretched between them, then Goku grinned. Sudden and bright. Then I guess I better impress you, huh? He exploded into Super Saiyan God, red aura. Divine energy. The transformation that had revolutionized Saiyan potential. Goku's hair became crimson flame. His eyes burned gold. Power radiated outward in waves. Frieza watched with professional interest. Adequate. Continue. Goku layered Super Saiyan blue over it. Azure energy mixing with red. The hybrid state pushed him higher. Muscles defined. Speed enhanced. Strength multiplied. Better. Then Goku activated Kaioken. Times 20. His aura became violent crimson blue lightning. The ground beneath him vaporized. Spatial distortions rippled outward. The Z-fighters backed away. Even Vegeta took 3 steps back. Goku's power level had become monstrous. Frieza yawned. Are you quite finished? Goku's eyes narrowed. Then he pushed further. Ultra Instinct Saiyan flickered to life. Silver-white light mixing with the blue and red. His movements became fluid. Unconscious. Perfect reaction without thought. Now they were talking. Frieza's expression shifted to genuine interest. Ah. There we are. The technique that troubled even Lord Beerus. Impressive, monkey. You've refined it. I've been training. Goku settled into stance. Perfect balance. Zero wasted movement. Ready when you are. Frieza didn't transform. Didn't power up. Simply stood there in his base destroyer form. Come. Goku vanished. Reappeared behind Frieza. Fist already moving. Speed beyond perception. The strike should have connected before Frieza could react. Frieza caught it one-handed. Too slow. He threw Goku into the sky. Casual. Like tossing a ball. The Saiyan became a blue-red streak against clouds. Goku recovered mid-air. Fired a Kamehameha. The beam split the atmosphere. Turned day into blazing noon. Enough power to vaporize mountain ranges. Frieza raised one finger. The Kamehameha struck it. Dispersed. Energy flowing around the digit like water around stone. Completely negated. My turn. Frieza appeared beside Goku. Instant transmission? No. Faster. He'd simply move through space without crossing the distance between. Divine teleportation. His tail wrapped around Goku's neck. Squeezed. Goku's hands clawed at the appendage. Ultra Instinct was screaming danger. His body moved automatically. Broke the hold. Put distance between them. Frieza was already there. Punched to the solar plexus. Goku's breath exploded out. His body folded. Knee to the face. Sent him spinning. Axe kicked downward. Goku crashed into Earth hard enough to create a crater 300 meters wide. The entire exchange took 2 seconds. Frieza descended slowly. Landed on the crater's edge. You're fighting with mortal instincts against a divine opponent. That's your first mistake. Goku climbed from the crater. Blood on his lips. Ultra Instinct burning brighter. Then teach me. Teach you? Frieza tilted his head. I'm not your sensei, monkey. No. You're my judge. Goku wiped blood away. So judge properly. See what I can really do. He exploded upward. Full Ultra Instinct. Not Saiyan. Complete. His hair became pure silver white. Eyes shifted to Mercury. The autonomous movement elevated beyond perfection. His body moved through combat like water through cracks. Flowing, inevitable, unstoppable. Now Frieza smiled for real. Yes. That's better. They clashed mid-air. Shockwaves rippled across the wasteland. The ground buckled. Mountains in the distance trembled. The sky itself seemed to crack. Punch met punch. Kick countered kick. Goku's ultra instinct predicted and adapted. Frieza's divine awareness read the predictions and countered the counters. They moved faster than thought, exchanging thousands of blows in seconds. Neither gained advantage. Frieza blocked a spinning kick. You've improved since the tournament. You too. Goku headbutted him. Way stronger than before. I'm a god now. Comes with the territory. Frieza grabbed Goku's arm. Twisted. Threw him earthward. Goku caught himself. Fired instant Kamehameha blasts. Dozens of them. Blue energy painting the sky. Frieza weaved between them. Graceful. His tail deflected 3. His hands swatted away 5 more. The rest he simply tanked. The explosions washed over him harmlessly. When the smoke cleared, his skin wasn't even singed. Adequate firepower. But you're holding back. Frieza's eyes glowed purple. Stop. I don't want to destroy the planet. I'll protect it. Frieza raised one hand. Purple barrier materialized around the battlefield. Kilometers wide. Containing their power. Now. Show me everything. Goku hesitated. Then grinned. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. He gathered energy. Not from himself. From everything. The sun. The earth. The atmosphere. The very fabric of space. A spirit bomb? No. Something different. Something he'd been developing in secret. Divine spirit fusion. The technique combined spirit bomb principles with God Ki. Goku's silver aura became blinding. His power level spiked so high that even Frieza's barrier cracked. Interesting, Frieza murmured. Goku launched forward. The impact shattered 6 layers of divine shielding. Frieza actually staggered back. First time he moved involuntarily this entire fight. Goku pressed the advantage. Barrage of strikes augmented with cosmic energy. Each hit carrying the weight of solar fusion. Each kick backed by gravitational force. Frieza blocked. Dodged. Countered. But he was being pushed back. The other Z-fighters watched in awe. He's actually doing it, Krillin whispered. He's fighting evenly with a god. No. Vegeta's voice was flat. Look closer. Frieza wasn't damaged. His expression showed interest. Engagement. But not strain. Not effort. He was testing Goku. Measuring his limits, like a scientist with a specimen. Goku realized it mid-punch. You're not even trying. On the contrary. I'm trying quite hard to gauge your exact capabilities. Frieza caught both fists. And I believe I have sufficient data. His aura exploded. Purple-black energy that made Goku's divine fusion look like a candle beside a supernova. The shockwave sent Ultra Instinct Goku tumbling backward. The barrier around them groaned. Reality itself bent. This was divine power unleashed. Not even 10%. Maybe 5. But it was enough. Frieza appeared in front of Goku. One finger extended. Touched his forehead. Hawkeye. Purple energy surged. Goku's Ultra Instinct screamed. His body moved on pure survival instinct. Instant transmission carried him 5 kilometers away. The spot where he'd been standing ceased existing. Not destroyed. Erased. Gone from reality, as if it had never been. Goku's silver form flickered. Dropped to blue. His breathing was ragged. That technique can erase you from existence. Yes. Frieza lowered his hand. It's called Hawkeye. Destruction energy. The fundamental power of destroyer gods. Beerus used it occasionally. I'm still learning proper application. Learning? Goku laughed breathlessly. That was learning? I pulled it back at the last instant. Otherwise you'd be gone. Frieza's expression softened fractionally. You fought well, Goku. Better than I expected. Your growth continues. That pleases me. Pleases you? It means Earth still produces warriors worthy of challenge. Evolution continues. Stagnation has not set in. Frieza gestured. The barrier dissolved. You passed this evaluation. Goku dropped to base form. collapsed to one knee. Just like that, just like that. Frieza turned to Vegeta. Your turn, Prince. Vegeta stepped forward. His expression was unreadable. Jaw tight. Fists clenched. Every muscle coiled like a spring ready to snap. I'm not like Kakarot, he said quietly. I won't try to befriend you. Won't pretend this is just a friendly spar. Good. I prefer honesty. I hate you. The words came out flat. Absolute. Everything you did to my people. My planet. My father. I carry that hatred like a second heartbeat. Frieza nodded slowly. As you should, but... Vegeta's eyes locked on Frieza's. I'm also curious. You trained for months to become this. You mastered divine power. You survived transformations that should have killed you. His lips pulled back in something between smile and snarl. I want to understand what that takes. Why? Because I will surpass you. Eventually. Inevitably. Vegeta's aura began to build. But first I need to measure the gap. Frieza's respect grew. Spoken like true royalty. Very well. Show me what Saiyan pride can achieve. Vegeta transformed. Not into blue. Not into his ultra ego form that countered Goku's ultra instinct. Something new. Royal blue. The transformation combined Super Saiyan God's divine foundation with Blue's power multiplication and Vegeta's unique energy control. His hair became deep sapphire. His aura moved like liquid gravity. Each movement left spatial ripples. New technique? Frieza inquired. Developed it specifically for fighting gods. Vegeta settled into Saiyan battle stance. Shall we test it? They moved simultaneously. The fighting style was completely different from Goku's bout. Where Goku relied on adaptation and flow, Vegeta brought tactical brutality. Each strike was calculated. Every movement served strategic purpose. He wasn't trying to match Frieza's power. He was trying to exploit weaknesses. Frieza blocked a punch. Vegeta's other hand was already firing ki blasts point blank. Frieza dodged. Vegeta had anticipated the dodge. Kick waiting exactly where Frieza appeared. It connected, barely. Frieza had shifted at the last microsecond. But it still landed. First clean hit anyone had scored. Clever, Frieza admitted. You're fighting like a tactician, not a warrior. I fight to win. Vegeta pressed forward. Honor is for corpses. More calculated strikes. Feints within feints. Vegeta wasn't stronger than Goku. Wasn't faster. But he was smarter in combat. Every motion served dual purpose. Frieza found himself actually concentrating. They exchanged blows across the wasteland. Vegeta used the terrain. Kicked up dust to obscure vision. Reflected ki blasts off rock formations. Created angles that forced Frieza to divide attention. You've improved significantly, Frieza noted. Training alone? With Whis. Before he started working with you. Vegeta fired a final flash. I learned divine combat principles. Applied them to Saiyan techniques. The final flash split into 17 separate beams. Each one tracking independently. Impossible to dodge them all. Frieza didn't try to dodge. He walked through them. The divine energy coating his skin simply negated the attacks. They dissipated on contact like rain on hot steel. Vegeta wasn't surprised. Immediately switched tactics. Close combat. Rapid strikes at pressure points. Trying to disrupt Frieza's energy flow. It almost worked. Frieza felt his power flicker. Just for an instant. Vegeta had identified a vulnerability in his energy circulation and exploited it with surgical precision. Magnificent. Frieza caught Vegeta's next strike. You're actually making me work. Then work harder. Vegeta headbutted him. I'm not done. He activated Ultra Ego. The transformation layered over Royal Blue. Vegeta's mentality shifted. Damage became power. Destruction became fuel. His aura turned violent. Chaotic. Purple energy mixing with blue. Now he was truly dangerous. Vegeta's fighting style changed again. He stopped defending entirely. Took hits deliberately. Each impact fed his power. Made him stronger. Faster. More destructive. Frieza recognized the technique immediately. You're using destroyer energy principles. Learned from Beerus. Refined them myself. Vegeta's grin was feral. You're not the only one who can touch divine destruction. They clashed with renewed intensity. Vegeta took a punch to the ribs. Bones cracked. He powered up. Retaliated with kick that actually pushed Frieza back 3 steps. Frieza struck him across the face. Vegeta's head snapped sideways. Blood flew. His power spiked higher. This technique, Frieza mused. It's effective but unsustainable. You're destroying yourself to match me. Worth it. Vegeta landed a palm strike to Frieza's chest. If it means proving Saiyans can fight gods. His energy was becoming unstable. The combination of royal blue and ultra ego was tearing his body apart from inside. Each second he maintained it, the closer he came to self-destruction, but he kept fighting. Frieza saw it clearly. Vegeta would literally die before surrendering, before admitting defeat. His pride wouldn't allow it. Foolish, admirable, very Saiyan. Frieza made a decision. He stopped holding back quite so much. Increased his power output to maybe 15%. Enough to overwhelm Vegeta without killing him. Their next exchange lasted 3 seconds. Frieza's speed increased beyond Vegeta's ability to track. 6 strikes landed simultaneously. Solar plexus. Liver. Both kidneys. Spine. Base of skull. Vegeta's combined form shattered. Ultra ego destabilized. Royal blue flickered out. He dropped to base Super Saiyan, then base form entirely, collapsed. Frieza caught him before he hit ground. The Saiyan Prince was unconscious. Barely breathing. His body was a mass of internal injuries. But alive. Frieza held him almost gently. You fought well, Vegeta. Better than I anticipated. He looked toward the watching Z fighters. Someone collect him. He requires medical attention. Bulma rushed forward. She'd arrived midway through Vegeta's fight, watched her husband nearly die trying to match a god. Is he alive? Stable. Foolish but impressive. Frieza handed Vegeta over. He pushed beyond his limits deliberately. Knowingly. To demonstrate Saiyan potential. Something flickered in Frieza's eyes. Remind him when he wakes that I was impressed. Bulma stared at him. You're different. I'm a god now. Comes with perspective adjustments. Frieza turned to Whis. I believe I have sufficient data on Earth's warrior class. Shall we proceed to planetary evaluation? As you wish, Lord Frieza. They rose into the air. Goku called up to them. Wait. What's the verdict? Does Earth pass? Frieza looked down at the gathered Z fighters. Preliminary evaluation is positive. You continue growing. Challenging each other. Pushing boundaries. Evolution remains active. His expression hardened. But I will return periodically. To verify continued progress. To ensure stagnation doesn't set in. His eyes glowed purple. And if I ever determine this world has become complacent. He didn't finish the sentence. Didn't need to. The implied threat hung heavy. Then Frieza and Whis vanished. They materialized in orbit above Earth. Frieza stared down at the blue planet. Continents visible through cloud cover. Oceans reflecting sunlight. So much life. So much potential. So fragile. How do you feel? Whis asked, conflicted. Frieza's tail swished. Part of me wants to destroy it on principle. Revenge for past humiliations. And the other part? Recognizes its value. Earth produces exceptional warriors. Pushes universal limits. The conflicts here drive innovation across the cosmos. Frieza's fist clenched. Destroying it would be wasteful. You're learning. I'm adapting. Frieza turned to Whis. Where next? Planet Zoan. Outer rim of Universe 7. Civilization reached peak development approximately 10,000 years ago. Has remained static since. Stagnation. Precisely. They teleported. Planet Zoan was beautiful. Crystal cities reaching toward pink skies. Architecture that merged art and function seamlessly. Citizens moved through streets in perfect harmony. No conflict. No crime. No chaos. Paradise. Frieza hated it on sight. Tell me about them, he said. Whis consulted his staff. The Zoan achieved universal enlightenment 11 millennia ago. Solved resource scarcity. Eliminated disease. Created post-biological integration with their technology. They're functionally immortal. And in those 11,000 years, have they progressed? No. They've maintained equilibrium. Then they're dead. They simply haven't realized it yet. Frieza descended toward the planet. I want to meet their leaders. They landed in the central plaza. Citizens noticed them immediately. Stared with polite curiosity. No fear. No excitement. Just mild interest. That bothered Frieza more than terror would have. A delegation approached. 3 beings of indeterminate gender, wearing flowing robes that shifted colors. Their faces were serene. Peaceful. Empty. Greetings, visitors, the lead figure said. Welcome to Zoan. We sense you carry divine essence. Are you gods? I am God of Destruction for Universe 7, Frieza replied. I've come to evaluate your civilization. How wonderful. We're honored to be noticed. No alarm. No concern. They didn't understand what God of Destruction meant, or didn't care. Show me your greatest achievements, Frieza demanded. They gave him a tour. The crystal cities were technological marvels. Energy drawn from vacuum fluctuations. Matter manipulation at quantum level. Citizens could reshape reality on small scales. Create whatever they needed, but they created nothing new. Frieza visited their libraries. Millions of books. All of them over 10,000 years old. No new literature. No new philosophy. No new ideas. He examined their art. Beautiful sculptures and paintings. All created in the same style. For millennia. Perfect replication without evolution. He attended their council sessions. Citizens discussed resource allocation with mathematical precision. No debate. No disagreement. Consensus on everything. After 6 hours, Frieza returned to the plaza. The delegation met him again. What do you think of our civilization? Your corpse is walking, Frieza said flatly. Your culture died 10,000 years ago. You simply haven't buried it yet. They looked confused. But we have no conflict. No suffering. Perfect harmony. You have no growth. No challenge. No potential. Frieza's tail lashed. When was the last time a Zoan did something unexpected? Created something original? Made a discovery that changed your understanding of existence? Silence. You can't remember, can you? Because it hasn't happened in millennia. Frieza's aura began to glow. You achieved paradise and stopped trying. That's not enlightenment. That's stagnation, and stagnation is death. What are you suggesting? One of the delegates asked. Still no fear. I'm suggesting that your civilization serves no purpose. You contribute nothing to the universe. You simply exist. Purple energy crackled around Frieza's hands. An existence without growth is waste. Finally, they understood. Fear entered their eyes. You're going to destroy us, the lead delegate whispered. Frieza hesitated. This was his function. His duty. Stagnant civilizations needed pruning. The Zoan represented textbook case for destruction. But something held him back. He looked at Whis. Opinion? Not my decision to make, Lord Frieza. This is your first real evaluation. Your judgment matters here. Frieza studied the Zoan. Millions of them across this world. All living in perfect, meaningless harmony. Contributing nothing. Growing nowhere, but alive. Conscious. Aware. He thought about his training. The books he'd read. The philosophy of destruction. Balance required removing dead branches. But was there alternative? I have a proposition, Frieza said finally. The delegates leaned forward. You have 6 Zoan months to demonstrate growth. Create something new. Discover something unknown. Make a contribution that justifies your continued existence. His eyes glowed purple. Fail, and I will erase this planet from reality. No second chances. What kind of contribution? They asked desperately. That's for you to determine. Surprise me. Shock me. Prove you're still capable of evolution. Frieza's smile was cold. Or prove you're already dead and accept the inevitable. He rose into the air with Whis. We'll return in 6 months. I suggest you use the time wisely. They vanished. In space, Whis regarded Frieza thoughtfully. That was merciful. That was practical. Frieza crossed his arms. Destroying them accomplishes nothing except making space. But threatening them? Giving them existential crisis? He smirked. That might actually spark growth. Force them to evolve or die. That serves balance better than simple destruction. Very wise. Or very soft. Frieza's expression darkened. Part of me wanted to simply erase them. Clean. Efficient. Final. But you didn't. No. I didn't. Frieza stared at his hands. I'm not certain if that's growth or weakness. Perhaps both. Perhaps either. Whis' staff glowed. Shall we continue? You have 3 more civilizations to evaluate today. 3 more? This is going to be tedious. Welcome to godhood, Lord Frieza. Tedium is 90% of the job. They visited 17 civilizations over the next week. Each one required evaluation, judgment, decision. Some Frieza destroyed without hesitation. A race of telepathic parasites draining life from neighboring systems. A machine intelligence that had achieved consciousness and immediately turned genocidal. A civilization built on enslaving lower species. Those earned obliteration, but others were complex. Planet Meridian, a warrior culture that had achieved interstellar travel through combat prowess. Strong. Innovative. But increasingly violent toward neighbors. Frieza gave them a warning. Channel aggression into competitive sports and exploration, or face destruction. They agreed immediately. Planet Sylph, an artistic civilization that had abandoned technology to pursue pure creative expression. Beautiful but vulnerable. Pirates preyed on them regularly. Frieza destroyed the pirate stronghold as object lesson. Then told the Sylphs to develop defensive capabilities or die. Art without strength is just waiting to be stolen. They wept. But understood. Planet Drac, a species evolving from predator to sentient. Still mostly bestial. Eating each other. No complex thought yet. Frieza almost destroyed them. Then noticed they were beginning to use tools, creating primitive language. Evolution in progress. He left them alone. Told Whis to mark them for evaluation in 5,000 years. Each judgment required nuance. Context. Understanding the difference between stagnation and slow development. Between necessary pruning and wasteful destruction. It was exhausting. On the 8th day, Frieza collapsed on Beerus's planet. The retired god was eating pancakes and watching the spectacle. Tired already? Beerus asked around a mouthful of food. I've evaluated 43 civilizations. Destroyed 8. Warned 17. Given conditional approval to 18. Frieza lay flat on purple grass. This job is harder than conquering galaxies. Told you. Beerus grabbed another pancake. Being a destroyer isn't about power. It's about judgment. Making decisions that affect billions. Carrying the weight of existence on your shoulders. Why did you retire? Bored. Did it for 75 million years. Seen everything twice. Beerus shrugged. Also the responsibility was getting heavy. Used to be fun. Destroy some planets, nap for a century, destroy some more. But somewhere along the way it became work. Frieza sat up. Do you regret it? Becoming a destroyer? Beerus considered this carefully. No. Gave me purpose for a long time. Let me meet interesting people. Eat amazing food. Fight strong opponents. He looked at Frieza. But everything has its season. Mine ended. Yours is beginning. And if I fail, then someone else takes over after you die horribly. Beerus grinned. No pressure. Whis appeared with tea. You're doing well, Lord Frieza. Most new destroyers struggle far more in their first week. Most new destroyers weren't galactic emperors first, Frieza pointed out. True. Your experience making life and death decisions translates well. Whis poured tea. Though I notice you've been more lenient than expected. Leniency or strategy? Explain. Frieza accepted the tea. Drank. The warmth helped. Destroying is easy. Creating motivation for growth is harder. If I can push civilizations toward evolution without erasing them, the universe benefits more. He set down the cup. Of course, if they fail to grow after being warned, I'll erase them without hesitation. Practical philosophy. Whis approved. Frieza stood. What's next on the evaluation schedule? Actually, you have something different today. Whis consulted his staff. The Grand Priest requests your presence. He wants to introduce you to the other gods of destruction formally. Frieza's expression shifted. All of them? All 11 of them, yes? You've met them briefly at the Tournament of Power. But now you're their peer. Proper introductions are required. They despise me. I could see it in their eyes during the tournament. Most of them despise everyone who isn't them. Whis smiled. You'll fit right in. How reassuring. Beerus laughed. Oh, this'll be fun. Kampa especially is going to hate you. He already didn't like you as a mortal. Now that you're a destroyer? He'll be insufferable. I can't wait, Frieza said dryly. Whis tapped his staff. Shall we? They materialized in the world of Void, the same arena where the Tournament of Power had occurred. But now it was set up differently. 12 thrones arranged in a circle, each one corresponding to a universe. The other gods of destruction were already present. Kampa sat in Universe Six's throne, looking annoyed. The fat cat god glared at Frieza immediately. Oh, wonderful. The mortal upstart. This is who's replacing Beerus? Former mortal, Frieza corrected. I'm divine now. Try to keep up. Kampa's face purpled. Belmod from Universe 11 studied Frieza with interest. The clown-faced god tilted his head. Fascinating. I sense genuine destroyer energy in you. The transformation took? Completely. Unprecedented. Mosco from Universe 3, the robot destroyer, made mechanical noises that probably meant something. His angel companion Campari translated. Lord Mosco asks if you retained your personality through all 7 ignitions. I did. More mechanical sounds. He says that's impossible. Yet here I am. Possible and standing. Helles from Universe 2 laughed. The beautiful goddess clapped her hands. I like him. He has spirit. Much better than Beerus's lazy attitude. Hey! Beerus objected. Quitella from Universe 4, a rat-like destroyer, sneered at Frieza. Pretty speech, but can you actually do the job? Being a destroyer requires more than power. It requires ruthlessness. Can you destroy innocence when necessary? Frieza's smile was razor-sharp. I've destroyed more innocents than you have stars in your universe. Don't question my capacity for ruthlessness. Quitella recoiled. Sidra from Universe 9 spoke up nervously. But that was as a tyrant. As a destroyer, the motivation is different. Can you separate personal desire from cosmic duty? Can any of you? Frieza challenged. Or do you pretend your decisions are purely objective when they're colored by preference and prejudice? Silence. Ilm from Universe 1, an elderly, dignified destroyer, nodded slowly. A fair point. We all carry bias. Pretending otherwise is dishonest. He studied Frieza. Welcome, God of Destruction of Universe 7. I look forward to seeing how you develop. As do I, rumbled Rumshi from Universe 10. The elephant-like god was massive. Though I question the Grand Priest's judgment in selecting someone so recently mortal. The Grand Priest himself materialized at the circle's center. Your concerns are noted, Lord Rumshi. However, Lord Frieza has completed all required transformations successfully. He is legally and spiritually a god of destruction now. Whatever your personal opinions, they are irrelevant. His voice was pleasant. His eyes were not. The other destroyers shut up immediately. The Grand Priest continued. Lord Frieza brings fresh perspective to this role. Most of you have served for millions of years. You've become set in your ways. Predictable. He represents change. Evolution. Exactly what destroyer gods are supposed to champion. He gestured, and a 12th throne materialized. Universe 7 seat, Lord Frieza. Please. Frieza walked to the throne. Saturday. Power thrummed through him immediately. The seat was connected to Universe 7 itself. He could feel it. Every planet. Every life. Every fluctuation in cosmic balance. It was overwhelming, intoxicating, Terrifying. As God of Destruction for Universe 7, the Grand Priest announced, you are bound by ancient laws and protocols. You will maintain cosmic balance. You will prune stagnation. You will serve the multiverse, not yourself. Understood. You will attend Destroyer Council meetings when summoned. You will cooperate with fellow destroyers on multiversal threats. You will train your successor when the time comes. All acknowledged. And you will not abuse your power for personal gain, revenge, or ego gratification. The destruction you bring must serve higher purpose. Break this law, and you will be removed. Permanently. Frieza met the Grand Priest's gaze. I accept all conditions. Then welcome to the Council of Destruction, Lord Frieza. The other destroyers muttered among themselves. Not acceptance, but acknowledgement. Kampa looked particularly sour. The meeting proceeded to standard council business. Discussions about universal balance. Threats that cross dimensional boundaries. Resource allocation across the multiverse. It was bureaucracy on cosmic scale. Frieza listened carefully. Learning the politics. Understanding the dynamics. Kampa and Beerus bickered constantly. Belmod was condescending to everyone. Helles tried to play peacemaker. Quitella schemed openly. They were powerful beyond measure, but they were also petty. Vain. Territorial. Just gods instead of mortals. The meeting lasted 6 hours. When it finally ended, Frieza approached Kampa deliberately. Brother of Beerus. A word. Kampa's eyes narrowed. What do you want? Cooperation. Our universes are twins. Linked across dimensions. What affects Universe 6 impacts Universe 7 and vice versa. Frieza kept his tone neutral. I'm proposing we coordinate our evaluation schedules. Share information about civilizations that span both universes. Work together rather than at cross purposes. Kampa stared at him. You're serious. Completely. I'm new to this role. You've served for millions of years. Your experience would be valuable. In exchange, I offer fresh perspective and different approach. Frieza extended his hand. What do you say? Kampa looked at the hand like it might bite him. Then, grudgingly, he shook it. Fine. But if you screw up and make my universe look bad, I'll destroy you myself. Fair enough. Frieza released his hand. Same to you? Whis appeared beside them, smiling. How diplomatic. I'm impressed. I'm practical. Frieza turned to leave. Politics serves no purpose. But cooperation does. They departed the world of void. Back on Beerus's planet, Frieza stood at the edge looking out at swirling cosmos. Whis joined him after a moment. You handled that well, the angel said. They all hate me. They hated you before. Now they just have to work with you. Whis smiled. Progress. Frieza said nothing for a long moment. Then, I visited the afterlife during my training. Oh, saw my father. King Cold. He was there. Waiting. Scheming. Still plotting conquest from beyond death. Frieza's tail swished. He didn't recognize me in my divine form. Tried to manipulate this new god into helping him escape. What did you do? I told him who I was. Explained what I'd become. Let him see that his son had transcended everything he'd ever been. Frieza's voice was quiet. Then I erased him from existence. Used Hakai. Completely obliterated his soul. Whis was silent. He made me what I was, Frieza continued. The tyrant. The conqueror. The monster. Everything cruel and ruthless in me came from him. His lessons. His brutality. He clenched his fist. And I killed him for it. Because that part of me is dead too. Had to die so this could be born. Do you regret it? No. But I remember it. Feel it. That's the difference between me and the other destroyers. Frieza turned to face Whis. I chose this transformation. They were born to it or conscripted. I walked into godhood knowing exactly what I was leaving behind. And what were you leaving behind? Everything. Frieza looked at his hands. Divine energy crackled. My empire. My revenge. My identity as a conqueror. All of it is ash. The only thing remaining is this. The function. The role. His eyes glowed purple. God of destruction. Not because I was chosen. Because I chose it. Whis regarded him with something like sadness. You understand the cost better than most. I understand that power always has a price. This power cost me myself. Everything I was. Everyone I was. Frieza smiled bitterly. But what I've become? It's better. Stronger. More meaningful, is it? Ask me in a millennium. When I've had time to truly understand this role. To grow into it fully. Frieza turned back to the cosmos. For now I'm learning. Adapting. Becoming something new. They stood in silence. The universe turned. Stars were born and died. And Frieza, god of destruction, watched it all with eyes that had seen both mortality and divinity. Learning the difference. 20 kilometers north of the first wasteland. Different sand. Same emptiness. Frieza landed without sound. Without impact. Perfection incarnate. His boots touched ground that didn't crack, didn't buckle, didn't acknowledge the arrival of divinity at all. Control. Always control now. He examined the terrain with detached interest. Flat expanse stretching to distant mountains. No vegetation. No water. No life except what flew here deliberately. Perfect arena. Goku arrived 3 seconds later. Blue energy trailing. He touched down with his usual lack of grace, stumbling slightly, kicking up dust, grinning like an idiot. Nice spot. The Saiyan looked around. Reminds me of where we first fought. Appropriate symmetry. Frieza's tail swished once. Full circle and all that poetic nonsense. You're different. Goku studied him openly. Not just the power. Something else. I'm a god. You're a monkey. Let's not overcomplicate things. But Goku shook his head. Nah. It's more than that. You stood differently when you landed. Moved differently. Even your voice sounds. He struggled for words. Older somehow. Frieza blinked. The monkey was perceptive. Annoying. 3 months training with angels and gods tends to age one's perspective, Frieza said. Now then. Shall we establish parameters? Goku's expression shifted. Battle mode activating. What kind of parameters? This isn't a death match. I'm testing you. Measuring Earth's continued viability as a civilization incubator. Frieza began walking a slow circle around Goku. Predator sizing prey. I need to understand if you've grown complacent. Stagnant. Unworthy of continued existence. That's a lot of pressure for a friendly fight. There's nothing friendly about judgment, son Goku. Goku's jaw tightened. Good. He was taking this seriously. Alright then. Blue aura flickered to life. How hard should I hit? As hard as you possibly can. Frieza stopped circling. Faced him directly. I want to see your absolute limit. Everything you've developed since the Tournament of Power. Every trick. Every technique. Every desperate innovation born from fighting gods and mortals alike. And if I damage you? Frieza laughed. Actually laughed. The sound echoed across emptiness like shattering glass. Damage me? Oh, monkey. You still don't understand what I've become. Purple energy began leaking from his skin. Not aura. Something deeper. Try. Please. Give me your best effort. I'm genuinely curious if you can even make me feel threatened. Goku's eyes narrowed. Then he smiled. That infuriating, genuine smile that meant he'd accepted the challenge completely. Alright. Don't blame me if this gets rough. He exploded into Super Saiyan God. Red aura. Divine Ki. The transformation washed over him like liquid flame. His hair became crimson. Eyes shifted gold. The air around him heated 30 degrees instantly. Frieza watched with clinical interest. Adequate baseline. Continue. Blue layered over red. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. The mouthful transformation that marked Saiyan mastery of divine energy. Azure light mixed with crimson foundation. Goku's muscles defined without bulking. Speed multiplied. Power compressed into dense, efficient form. The ground beneath him began cracking. Better. Frieza's smile widened. But I know you have more. Kaioken activated. Times 20. Red lightning exploded around blue aura. Goku's energy signature doubled. Tripled. Quadrupled. The temperature spiked. Spatial distortions rippled outward in waves. Small rocks began floating upward, gravity warping from raw power output. Now they were getting somewhere. Frieza's expression shifted to genuine interest. Yes. That's more like it. Though I notice you're still holding back the technique that truly matters. Goku hesitated. You know which one I mean, Frieza prompted. The state that pushed you beyond even Lord Beerus's initial estimations. The autonomous combat technique that made gods pay attention. Ultra instinct flickered. Just for a moment. Silver-white light bleeding through azure and crimson. Goku's eyes shifted. Became mercurial. His stance relaxed completely. Every muscle loose. Every movement flowing like water seeking cracks. There. Perfect. Much better, Frieza purred. Now we can begin properly. He didn't transform. Didn't power up. Just stood there in base destroyer form. Purple-tinted skin gleaming. Tail swaying gently. Arms crossed casually. Waiting. Goku moved first. Vanished. Reappeared behind Frieza. Fist already in motion. Speed beyond normal perception. The strike should have connected before Frieza could react. Frieza caught it one-handed. Predictable. He threw Goku skyward. Not hard. Just up. Goku became a streak of blue-red-white against pale sky. He recovered mid-flight. Spun. Fired immediate Kamehameha downward. The beam split atmosphere. Turned day into blazing white. Power output sufficient to vaporize mountain ranges. Frieza raised one finger. The Kamehameha struck. Dispersed. Energy flowing around the digit like water around stone. Completely negated. Not absorbed. Not deflected. Simply denied. Goku's eyes widened. Frieza smiled. My turn. He appeared beside Goku. Instant transmission? No. Faster than that. He'd move through space without crossing distance. Divine teleportation allowing him to simply exist elsewhere without transitioning between points. His tail wrapped around Goku's throat. Squeezed. Not hard enough to crush. Just enough to make breathing impossible. Goku's hands clawed at the appendage. Ultra instinct screamed warnings. His body moved automatically. Elbows striking backward. Knees driving upward. Attempting to break the hold through pure combat instinct. Frieza's free hand caught each strike effortlessly. Your autonomous movement is impressive, he noted conversationally. But ultimately predictable. You dodge optimally. Attack efficiently. React perfectly. His grip tightened fractionally. But perfection is a pattern. Patterns can be read. Goku's face was turning red, then blue. Frieza released him. Let him drop. Goku caught himself 10 meters down. Gasped air. Massaged his throat. Ultra instinct burning brighter now. The technique responding to genuine threat. You're not even trying, Goku rasped. On the contrary. I'm measuring you very carefully. Frieza descended slowly. Your power output is substantial. Your technique refined. You've clearly continued training since the tournament. But you're fighting with mortal instincts against divine opponent. Frieza's expression became almost educational. Let me demonstrate. He moved. Not fast. Not particularly hard. Just precisely. His fist struck Goku's solar plexus. Perfect placement. Exact force required to fold the Saiyan without causing serious damage. Goku's breath exploded outward. Before he could react, Frieza's knee drove into his face. Sent him spinning. Axe kick followed. Downward. Goku crashed into earth. Crater formed. 300 meters wide. 50 deep. Impact shockwave rippled outward. Dust plume rose like nuclear detonation. The entire exchange took 2 seconds. Frieza landed on the crater's edge. Perfectly balanced. Not a scratch on him. You see? He called down. Raw power means nothing if application is inefficient. You waste energy with flashy movements. Telegraph intentions with muscle tension. Fight like you're still mortal. Goku climbed from the crater, blood on his lips. Burn across his cheek. But smiling. Actually smiling. All right, he said. Lesson received. Your turn to see what I've really learned. He planted both feet, centered his breathing. Ultra instinct fully activated. Not Saiyan. Not incomplete. Perfect ultra instinct. The state that had allowed him to pressure Jiren. To make gods nervous. To touch something beyond normal martial arts. His hair became pure silver white. Eyes shifted to Mercury. The autonomous movement system elevated beyond mere perfection. His body stopped being a thing he controlled and became an extension of universal flow. Action without thought. Reaction without decision. Pure combat instinct given physical form. Now Frieza's smile widened genuinely. Yes. That's what I wanted to see. They clashed. Mid-air. The impact generated shockwave visible from orbit. Atmosphere compressed. Sound barrier didn't just break, it shattered into component frequencies. Light bent around the collision point. Punch met punch. Kick countered kick. Goku's ultra instinct predicted Frieza's movements. Dodged before attacks fully committed. Countered openings that hadn't quite formed yet. Frieza's divine awareness read those predictions. Adapted mid-strike. Changed trajectories impossibly. Created new angles that shouldn't exist. They moved faster than thought. Thousands of exchanges in seconds. Neither gaining advantage. Perfect stalemate. Until Frieza shifted approach. He stopped attacking Goku directly. Started attacking the space around him. Purple energy erupted from his palms. Not ki blasts. Hakai energy. Destruction itself given form. The attacks didn't explode on contact. They erased. Goku's ultra instinct dodged frantically. But each erasure created void. Empty space where matter had been. The voids were destabilizing local reality, creating pockets where Goku's movement became unpredictable even to himself. Frieza pressed the advantage, appeared in one of the voids, where ultra instinct couldn't predict because physics didn't work right. Grabbed Goku's arm, twisted, threw him earthward. Goku hit ground hard enough to bounce. Skipped across wasteland like stone on water. Each impact created new crater. Finally stopped 3 kilometers away. He pushed himself up slowly, ultra instinct flickering. The technique was burning energy fast. Draining him. He couldn't maintain it much longer. Frieza descended nearby. You're learning the limitation of your technique. It's magnificent against mortal opponents. Even against lesser gods. But against destroyer-class beings who can manipulate reality itself? He shook his head. Optimization means nothing when the battlefield stops following rules. Goku spat blood. So what? I should give up? No. You should adapt. Frieza gestured. Ultra instinct assumes consistent physical laws. When I erase space, create voids, bend local reality, your technique falters. So either develop countermeasures or accept the limitation. You're teaching me? Goku stared. I'm judging you. Part of judgment is understanding potential versus current capability. Frieza's tail swished. If you've peaked, Earth loses value. If you're still growing, still finding new heights, then continued existence serves cosmic balance. Goku processed this, then grinned. Alright. Let's see how I adapt under pressure. He gathered energy differently this time, not from himself alone, from everything around him, the sun overhead, the planet beneath, the atmosphere between, even the fabric of space itself. Drawing ambient energy like his spirit bomb technique but combining it with divine ki, divine spirit fusion, the technique he'd been developing in secret. Merging Genki-Dama principles with God energy. Creating something entirely new. His silver aura became blinding. Power level spiked so dramatically that even Frieza's eyebrows rose. Interesting, the destroyer god murmured. Very interesting indeed. Goku launched forward. The speed was transcendent. Beyond ultra instinct optimization. Beyond simple measurement. He'd combined autonomous movement with cosmic energy augmentation. The first punch landed. Actually landed. Frieza's head snapped sideways. First time he'd been touched involuntarily this entire fight. Goku didn't waste the opening. Barrage of strikes. Each one carrying weight of solar fusion. Each kick backed by gravitational force. Every impact augmented with energy drawn from reality itself. Frieza blocked, dodged, countered, but he was being pushed back. Actual effort required now. The Z fighters watching from distance felt the shockwaves. Saw the explosions. Witnessed Goku actually pressuring a god. He's doing it, Krillin whispered. He's actually fighting evenly. No. Vegeta's voice was flat. Look closer. Frieza wasn't damaged. His expression showed engagement. Interest. Even mild surprise. But not strain, not effort, not concern. He was testing Goku. Measuring limits. Pushing buttons to see what happened. Like scientist with specimen. Goku realized it mid-punch. You're not even trying. On the contrary. Frieza caught both fists. I'm trying quite hard to gauge your exact capabilities. This divine spirit fusion is impressive. Novel application of existing techniques. Proof of continued innovation. His eyes gleamed. I have sufficient data now. His aura exploded. Purple-black energy that made Goku's cosmic fusion look like candle beside supernova. The shockwave sent Ultra Instinct Goku tumbling backward. Reality itself bent around Frieza. Space cracked like glass. Time stuttered. This was divine power unleashed. Not even 10%, maybe 5%, but enough, more than enough. Frieza appeared before Goku. One finger extended, touched his forehead gently. Hawkeye. Purple energy surged. Goku's entire body screamed danger. Ultra Instinct moved on pure survival instinct. Instant transmission activated automatically. Carried him 5 kilometers away before conscious thought engaged. The spot where he'd been standing ceased existing, not destroyed, not obliterated, erased, gone from reality as if never there. Goku's Ultra Instinct form flickered. Dropped to blue. His breathing was ragged. Chest heaving. Every muscle trembling from exertion. That technique can erase you from existence, Frieza finished. Called Hawkeye. Destruction energy. The fundamental power of destroyer gods. He lowered his hand. I pulled back at the last instant. Otherwise you'd be gone. No afterlife. No reincarnation. Simply, nothing. Goku stared at the void where he'd been, then laughed. Breathlessly but genuinely. That's terrifying. It should be. Frieza's expression softened fractionally. But you fought well, Goku. Better than I anticipated. Your divine spirit fusion shows continued innovation. Ultra Instinct proves mastery of advanced techniques. You haven't stagnated. He gestured. The purple barrier around the battlefield dissolved. You passed this evaluation. Goku dropped to base form. Collapsed to one knee. Just like that, just like that. Frieza turned toward where Vegeta waited in the distance. Your turn, Prince. Vegeta stepped forward. No hesitation. No fear. Just pure Saiyan pride compressed into 5'5" of concentrated determination. His expression was carved granite. Jaw tight. Fists clenched so hard his gloves creaked. Every muscle coiled like spring ready to snap. I won't pretend this is friendly, he said quietly. Won't act like we're sparring partners. Won't play cockroach's game of making friends with everyone. Good. Frieza's smile was genuine. I prefer honesty. I hate you. The words came out absolute. No heat. No passion. Just facts stated plainly. Everything you did to my people. My planet. My father. Every humiliation. Every loss. Every moment of helplessness watching you destroy what was mine. His eyes locked on Frieza's. I carry that hatred like second heartbeat. Frieza nodded slowly. As you should, but... Vegeta's stance shifted. I'm also curious. You trained 3 months to become this. Mastered divine power. Survived 7 transformations that should have killed you. His lips pulled back, not quite smile. Not quite snarl. I want to understand what that takes. What price you paid. What you became. Why? Because I will surpass you. Said with absolute certainty. No doubt. No qualification. Simple statement of inevitable future. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But eventually. Inevitably. He began powering up. First though, I need to measure the gap. Frieza's respect grew. This was proper rivalry. Not Goku's friendly competition. True Saiyan pride confronting obstacle with eyes wide open. Acknowledging disadvantage without surrendering. Spoken like royalty, Frieza said. Very well. Show me what Saiyan pride achieves. Vegeta transformed. Not blue. Not his ultra ego form. Something new. Royal blue. The transformation built on Super Saiyan God Foundation. Layered Blue's power multiplication over it. Added Vegeta's unique energy control developed through decades of training. His hair became deep sapphire, darker than normal blue. Richer. His aura moved like liquid gravity. Dense. Heavy. Each movement left spatial ripples, completely unique. New technique? Frieza inquired. Developed specifically for fighting gods. Vegeta settled into Saiyan battle stance. Low. Balanced. Coiled. Shall we test it? They moved simultaneously. The fighting style was completely different from Goku's bout. Where Goku relied on adaptation and flow, Vegeta brought tactical brutality. Each strike calculated. Every movement served strategic purpose. No wasted energy. No flashy techniques. Pure efficient violence. He wasn't trying to match Frieza's power. He was trying to exploit weaknesses. Frieza blocked punch. Vegeta's other hand was already firing ki blasts point blank. Compressed. Focused. Timed for exact moment Frieza's guard shifted. Frieza dodged. Vegeta had anticipated the dodge. Predicted trajectory. Kick waiting precisely where Frieza materialized. It connected. Barely. Frieza had shifted at last microsecond. But contact was made. Boot struck ribs. Actually pushed the destroyer god sideways 3 centimeters. First clean hit anyone scored. Clever, Frieza admitted. Fighting like tactician, not warrior. I fight to win. Vegeta pressed forward. Honor is for corpses. More calculated strikes. Feints within feints. Vegeta used the terrain. Kicked up dust to obscure vision. Angled attacks to use sun glare. Created situations forcing Frieza to divide attention. Frieza found himself actually concentrating. The prince wasn't stronger than Goku. Wasn't faster. But smarter in combat. Every motion served dual purpose. Every attack created opportunity for follow-up. They exchanged blows across wasteland. Vegeta redirected ki blasts off rock formations. Used environmental features as weapons. Fought three-dimensionally, above, below, around. Forcing Frieza to track multiple threat vectors simultaneously. You've improved significantly, Frieza noted. Caught kick. Deflected punch. Training alone? With Whis. Before he started working with you. Vegeta spun midair. Fired final flash at point blank. Learned divine combat principles. Applied them to Saiyan techniques. The final flash split into 17 separate beams, each one tracking independently. Different angles. Different speeds. Different power levels. Impossible to dodge them all. Couldn't block everything. Had to choose. Frieza chose option 3. Walked through them. Divine energy coating his skin negated the attacks. They dissipated on contact like rain on hot steel. Not even scorch marks left behind. Vegeta wasn't surprised. Immediately switched tactics. Close combat. Rapid strikes at pressure points. Targeting energy flow nodes. Disrupting circulation. Looking for the gaps in godly defense. It almost worked. Frieza felt his power flicker. Just instant. Barely perceptible. But Vegeta had identified vulnerability in his energy circulation. Exploited it with surgical precision. Struck the exact point where divine and mortal energy mixed imperfectly. Fascinating. Magnificent. Frieza caught Vegeta's next strike. You're actually making me work. Then work harder. Vegeta headbutted him. I'm not done. He activated Ultra Ego. The transformation layered over royal blue like second skin. Vegeta's mentality shifted fundamentally. Damage became power. Destruction became fuel. Pain fed strength. His aura turned violent. Chaotic. Purple energy mixing with blue. The combination unstable but potent. Now truly dangerous. Vegeta's fighting style changed again. Stopped defending entirely. Took hits deliberately. Each impact fed his power. Made him stronger. Faster. More destructive. The masochistic fighting style turning damage into advantage. Frieza recognized the technique immediately. Using destroyer energy principles. Learned from Beerus. Refined them myself. Vegeta's grin was feral. Blood on his teeth. You're not the only one who can touch divine destruction. They clashed with renewed intensity. Vegeta took punch to ribs. Bones cracked audibly. He powered up. Retaliated with kick that actually pushed Frieza back 3 full steps. Frieza struck him across face. Vegeta's head snapped sideways. Blood sprayed. His power spiked higher, back and forth. Pain and power. Destruction feeding destruction. This technique, Frieza observed. Effective but unsustainable. You're destroying yourself to match me. Worth it. Vegeta landed palm strike to Frieza's chest. Actually drove wind from Destroyer's lungs. If it means proving Saiyans can fight gods. His energy was becoming unstable. The combination of royal blue and ultra ego tearing his body apart from inside. Muscles ripping. Bones fracturing under strain. Blood vessels bursting. Each second maintaining it brought him closer to self-destruction. But he kept fighting. Refused to stop. Wouldn't surrender. Couldn't. Pride wouldn't allow it. Frieza saw it clearly. Vegeta would literally die before admitting defeat. Before backing down. Before showing weakness. His pride was absolute. Unbreakable. The core of his being. Foolish. Admirable. Quintessentially Saiyan. Frieza made decision. Stopped holding back quite so much. Increased power output to maybe 15%. Enough to overwhelm Vegeta without killing him. Their next exchange lasted 3 seconds. Frieza's speed increased beyond Vegeta's ability to track. Even with Ultra Ego's enhanced perception. Even with Royal Blue's tactical processing. 6 strikes landed simultaneously. Solar plexus. Liver. Both kidneys. Spine. Base of skull. Precise. Controlled. Calculated to disable without permanent damage. Vegeta's combined form shattered. Ultra Ego destabilized. Royal Blue flickered out. He dropped to base Super Saiyan. Then base form entirely. Collapsed. Frieza caught him before he hit ground. The Saiyan Prince was unconscious. Barely breathing. His body mass of internal injuries. Ribs broken. Organs bruised. Muscles torn, but alive. Heart beating. Frieza held him almost gently, like holding something valuable. Fragile. You fought well, Vegeta. Spoken quietly. Sincerely. Better than I anticipated. You've grown tremendously since Planet Namek. Vegeta couldn't hear, but Frieza said it anyway. He looked toward watching Z fighters. Found Bulma rushing forward. She'd arrived midway through Vegeta's fight. Watched her husband nearly die trying to match God. Terror and pride warring on her face. Is he, she couldn't finish, alive? Stable. Foolish but impressive. Frieza handed Vegeta over carefully. He pushed beyond his limits deliberately. Knowingly. To demonstrate Saiyan potential. Something flickered in Frieza's eyes. Remind him when he wakes that I was impressed. Bulma stared at him. Blue eyes searching purple ones. You're different, she said finally. I'm a god now. Comes with perspective adjustments. Frieza turned to Whis. I believe I have sufficient data on Earth's warrior class. Shall we proceed to planetary evaluation? As you wish, Lord Frieza. They rose into air. Goku called up from below. Still on one knee. Still exhausted. Wait. What's the verdict? Does Earth pass? Frieza looked down, at gathered Z-fighters. At Goku's hopeful expression. At Vegeta unconscious in Bulma's arms. At Piccolo's wary stance. At the humans clustering together for comfort. Preliminary evaluation is positive, he said. You continue growing. Challenging each other. Pushing boundaries. Evolution remains active. His expression hardened. But I will return periodically. To verify continued progress. To ensure stagnation doesn't set in. His eyes glowed purple. Divine light that could unmake planets. And if I ever determine this world has become complacent. If growth stops. If you settle into comfortable routine without further development. He paused. I will erase it. No hesitation. No second chances. Destruction without mercy. Silence. Heavy as mountains. Understood? Frieza asked. Goku stood slowly. Met his gaze. Understood. We'll keep growing. Keep pushing. I promise. See that you do. Frieza placed hand on Whis' shoulder. Because next time I visit, I won't be testing. I'll be judging for real. They vanished, left behind shaken warriors and uncertain future, materialized in orbit above Earth. Frieza hovered in space, looking down at blue planet through void. Continents visible through cloud cover. Oceans reflecting sunlight. So much life. So much potential. So fragile. Single thought could erase it all. How do you feel? Whis asked, conflicted. Frieza's tail swished through vacuum. Part of me wants to destroy it on principle. Revenge for past humiliations. Every defeat. Every loss. Every moment Goku made me feel weak. And the other part? Recognizes its value. Earth produces exceptional warriors. Pushes universal limits. The conflicts here drive innovation across cosmos. Frieza's fist clenched. Destroying it would be wasteful. Petty. Beneath what I've become. You're learning. I'm adapting. Frieza turned to Whis. But I meant what I said. If they stagnate, I will destroy them. That's not threat. It's promise. My function requires it. I know. Whis smiled gently. But I suspect Earth will continue surprising you. They have habit of exceeding expectations. Frieza grunted, non-committal, but possibly agreeing. Where next? He asked. Actually, there's someone who wants to speak with you. Whis' staff glowed. Your father. Frieza went very still. Excuse me? King Cold. He's in the afterlife. Waiting. The Grand Priest mentioned he's been requesting audience with the new god of destruction. Whis consulted his staff. Would you like to visit him? Frieza's expression was unreadable. King Cold. His father. His teacher. His tormentor. The being who'd shaped him into monster. Who taught him that fear was only currency. That power was absolute. That mercy was weakness. Dead for decades now. Killed by Trunks. The boy from the future who'd sliced through him like wet paper. Humiliating end for galactic tyrant. Yes, Frieza said quietly. I'll see him. Are you certain? There's no obligation. I'm certain. Frieza's voice was steel. I have things to say to him. Things he needs to hear before I'm done with the past completely. Whis nodded slowly, tapped his staff. Reality folded. They materialized in the afterlife. Specifically, the section reserved for villains. Gray clouds. Red sky. Endless plains of nothing stretching to horizon. Souls wandered aimlessly. Waiting for judgment. For reincarnation. For oblivion. King Cold stood apart from others. Tall. Imposing even in death. His form less substantial than life but still recognizable. Same cruel features. Same calculating eyes. Same presence that had dominated Frieza's childhood. He turned as they arrived, saw Whis, saw the purple-skinned destroyer god beside him, didn't recognize his own son. Angel, King Cold greeted. I was told the new god of destruction wished to speak with me. Is this him? It is, Whis confirmed. King Cold studied Frieza critically. Peculiar choice. Allowing non-feline species to assume Beerus's role. But I suppose desperate times require desperate measures. He bowed slightly. Mockery in the gesture. How may I serve you, Lord Destroyer? Frieza said nothing, just stared, watching his father fail to recognize him. The being who'd shaped his entire existence didn't know him anymore. Divine transformation had changed him that completely. King Cold grew impatient. Well? You summoned me for reason. Speak. Do you know who I am? Frieza asked quietly. New Destroyer God. Obviously. King Cold's tail lashed. Beyond that, I either know nor particularly care. My concerns are escaping this wretched afterlife. Returning to physical form. Rebuilding my empire. Your empire is ash. Your legacy is failure. Frieza's voice was soft. Dangerous. You died screaming. Cut down by a boy who barely tried. Your son watched it happen and felt nothing. King Cold's expression darkened. How dare you? I am your son. Silence. King Cold stared. Impossible. Frieza is dead. Killed by that monkey Goku. I felt his death from here. I died. Multiple times. Came back. trained, achieved golden form, fought in tournament of power, sacrificed myself to save Universe 7. Frieza stepped closer, and was rewarded with godhood, transformed through 7 divine ignitions. Became what you see now. He let his aura flare, purple-black energy crackling with Hawkeye, unmistakably Frieza's energy signature. But amplified beyond recognition, King Cold's face went through series of emotions. Disbelief, shock, recognition, then greed. My son, you've achieved divinity. Calculation entered his eyes. This is perfect. Together we could. No, the word cut like blade. I didn't come here to partner with you. To rebuild empire. To resume our relationship. Frieza's eyes glowed purple. I came to end it. Permanently. King Cold laughed. Nervous now. End it? Frieza, I'm your father. I taught you everything. You taught me that power is absolute. That fear is only currency. That mercy is weakness. Frieza's tail lashed. You made me into monster. Into tyrant who destroyed civilizations for profit. Who ruled through terror because it was only language you understood. And you excelled at it. You became most feared being in the universe. And it was hollow. Empty. Meaningless. Frieza raised one hand. Purple energy gathered. I've spent 3 months learning what true power means. What purpose feels like. What serving something larger than yourself requires. King Cold backed away. What are you, your dead weight? Remnant of past I've outgrown. Reminder of everything weak and petty in me. Frieza's voice was ice. So I'm cutting you loose. Completely. Permanently. Frieza, please, Hawkeye. Purple energy exploded. King Cold's soul began disintegrating. Not dying, souls were already dead. Being erased. Removed from existence entirely. No reincarnation. No afterlife. No memory remaining. Complete obliteration. King Cold screamed. You can't do this. I'm your father. You were my father. Now you're nothing. Frieza watched him passively. Die knowing your son surpassed you in every conceivable way. That everything you taught me was wrong. That your entire legacy ends here. King Cold reached out desperately. Please. I can help you. I can. The erasure completed. King Cold vanished. Completely. As if never existed. Frieza lowered his hand. Felt nothing. No satisfaction. No regret. No emotion at all. Just closure. How do you feel? Whis asked gently. Free. Frieza examined his hand. He made me what I was. The tyrant. The conqueror. Every cruel lesson. Every brutal teaching. All of it stemmed from him. He clenched his fist. And now he's gone. Erased. That part of my past is dead too. Do you regret it? No. Frieza turned away from where King Cold had been. He would have tried to manipulate me. Use our relationship. Twist this power toward his own ends. His eyes met Whistle's. I couldn't allow that. Couldn't risk him corrupting what I'm becoming. And what are you becoming? Frieza considered the question. Looked down at his hands. Divine energy crackling. Thought about the evaluations. The tests. The judgments he'd made and would make. Something better, he said finally. Not good. I'm not delusional. But better than what I was. More purposeful. More meaningful. He smiled slightly. The tyrant is dead. Long live the destroyer. Whis nodded slowly. Shall we return? One more stop first. Frieza looked toward different section of afterlife. I want to see planet Vegeta. The planet itself is destroyed. I know. I destroyed it. Frieza's expression was unreadable. But the Saiyans who died there. They're in the afterlife somewhere. I want to observe them. Whis studied him carefully. Why? Curiosity. Understanding. Maybe closure. Frieza's tail swished. Vegeta fought well today. Reminded me that Saiyans were more than animals I could exterminate. They had pride. Potential. Culture worth preserving. You're feeling guilty. No. But I'm recognizing waste. I destroyed civilization that could have contributed to universal balance. That was poor judgment on my part. Frieza looked at Whis. Will you take me there? As you wish. They walked through Afterlife. The Saiyan section was separate. Warrior culture maintained even in death. Training grounds. Sparring areas. Eternal combat for those who lived for battle. Frieza observed from distance. Saw familiar faces. Elite soldiers he'd commanded. Warriors who'd served Frieza force. Some he'd killed personally. Others who died on missions. And there, King Vegeta, the Saiyan monarch, was sparring with someone. Moves sharp. Precise. Even in death, he trained. Frieza watched him for a long moment. Remembered the day he destroyed planet Vegeta. How King Vegeta had rebelled. Led assault on Frieza's ship. Fought desperately to protect his people. Frieza had killed him personally. Crushed him without effort. Then destroyed the entire planet, while the king's soul watched helplessly from Afterlife. Do you want to speak with him? Whis asked. No. Frieza turned away. What would I say? Sorry I murdered your species? Sorry I orphaned your son and turned him into weapon? He shook his head. Words are meaningless. Actions matter. What action, then? I let Vegeta live. Let him grow strong. Let him find purpose beyond revenge. Frieza's eyes glowed faintly. His survival and growth are my apology. Better than anything I could say. They walked back toward exit. Behind them, Saiyan souls continued training. Unaware God of Destruction had visited. That their destroyer had come and left without word. Maybe that was appropriate. Some wounds didn't need reopening. I'm ready to return now, Frieza said. Whis tapped his staff. Reality shifted. They materialized on Beerus's planet. The retired god was napping under his tree. Oracle fish swimming lazy circles. Peaceful scene. Frieza walked to edge. Looked out at swirling cosmos. So many stars. So many worlds. So many lives under his jurisdiction now. The weight of it was tremendous. Tell me honestly, he said to Whis. Am I doing well? Or am I failing? Honestly? Whis stood beside him. You're doing better than expected. Most new destroyers struggle with judgment. Either too lenient or too harsh. You're finding balance. But you're also still learning. Still adapting. You'll make mistakes. Destroy worlds that could have been saved. Spare civilizations that should have been pruned. Whis smiled gently. That's normal. Even necessary. Error teaches better than perfection. Comforting. Not meant to be. Meant to be truthful. Whis sipped tea that appeared from nowhere. You asked for honesty? Here it is. You have potential to be exceptional destroyer. But you're not there yet. You're still carrying too much of your past. Too much Frieza the tyrant mixed with Frieza the god. And the solution? Time. Experience. Continued growth. Whis set down his cup. You survived 7 ignitions with identity intact. That's unprecedented. But integration isn't complete. You're still separating who you were from who you are. Eventually, they'll merge fully. Then you'll truly be God of Destruction. Frieza absorbed this. How long does integration take? Beerus required 10,000 years. Wonderful. But you're already further along than he was at equivalent point. Whis smiled. Advantage of conscious choice. You chose this path. Weren't born to it. That gives you different relationship with the role. Frieza said nothing, just stared at Cosmos, thinking about future. About growth. About what he'd become across millennia. I'm going to rest now, he said finally. Today was exhausting. Of course. Your chambers are prepared. Frieza walked towards small building Whis had constructed for him. Simple structure. Meditation room. Bedroom. Nothing extravagant. He entered, lay down, stared at ceiling, thought about Goku's smile. Vegeta's determination. King Cold's erasure. Planet Vegeta's ghosts. Everything was changing. He was changing. For first time in his existence, Frieza felt genuinely uncertain about future. Not afraid. Just uncertain. It was novel sensation, almost refreshing. He closed his eyes, let divine energy settle into dormant state, and slept. Dreamed of purple skies and judgment calls, of worlds saved and worlds destroyed, of balance maintained through careful destruction. Tomorrow would bring new evaluations, new decisions, new opportunities to prove himself worthy of godhood. But tonight he rested. God and tyrant both, merged imperfectly but growing toward unity. The transformation continued, would continue for millennia. And Frieza, god of destruction, former emperor, eternal rival, accepted that, embraced it even, because growth was purpose, and purpose was everything. The summons came at midnight. Frieza was meditating, floating cross-legged above crystalline platform, divine energy cycling through his body in perfect loops, when Whis' staff chimed, 3 times, short, sharp, urgent. His eyes snapped open. What is it? Whis materialized from nothing. His expression was serious. Actually serious. No pleasant smile. No casual demeanor. Bad sign. The Grand Priest summons all gods of destruction immediately. Emergency Council. Frieza dropped to the platform. Emergency? He didn't specify. Just that attendance is mandatory. Whis extended his hand. We must leave now. Something in his tone made Frieza's spine tingle. Not fear. Gods didn't fear, but concern. He took Whis' hand. Reality twisted. The world of void materialized around them. All 12 destroyer gods were gathering, appearing one by one in flashes of light, each with their angel attendant. Beerus yawned widely. This better be good. I was napping. You're always napping, Kampa grumbled. The fat cat god looked equally annoyed. What could possibly require all of us? Quatella chittered nervously. Something's wrong. I can feel it. Belmont adjusted his clown makeup. The Grand Priest doesn't summon us lightly. Whatever this is, the Grand Priest appeared, center of the circle. But he wasn't alone. Zeno was with him, both Zenus, the 2 child gods who ruled all existence. Their small faces were troubled, worried even. Every destroyer god immediately bowed, even Frieza. Instinct demanded it. Divine hierarchy coded into his being now. Rise, the Grand Priest said softly. They rose. Frieza's tail twitched. Something was very wrong. Zeno looked genuinely upset. Like a child who'd lost their favorite toy. Thank you all for coming so quickly. The Grand Priest's hands were clasped behind his back. His eyes swept across the assembled gods. We have a crisis. One that requires immediate action from all of you. What kind of crisis? Iln asked. The elderly destroyer's voice was steady. Calm. The Grand Priest gestured. A holographic display materialized, showing the multiverse. 12 bubbles of reality floating in void, each one containing infinite galaxies, except one bubble was flickering. Universe 10. Rumshi leaned forward. What's happening to my universe? It's being consumed. The Grand Priest's voice was grave. From the inside. By something we didn't anticipate. The hologram zoomed in. Showed Universe 10's interior. Galaxies were wrong, twisted, corrupted. Black tendrils spreading between stars like infection. What is that? Mosco's mechanical voice translated through Campari. A parasitic entity. Something that evolved in the space between universes. It's feeding on Universe 10. Consuming reality itself. The Grand Priest's expression darkened. And if we don't stop it, it will spread to the other universes. Silence. Heavy as neutron star. How do we kill it? Beerus asked simply. You can't. Not through conventional destruction. The Grand Priest manipulated the hologram. Showed the entity more clearly. It exists partially outside normal reality. Your Hawkeye energy can damage it but not erase it. It adapts too quickly. Frieza studied the display carefully. The entity was massive. Spread across dozens of galaxies already. And growing. So what do you propose? He asked. The Grand Priest turned to him. A tournament. Excuse me? Each destroyer will select one champion from their universe. These champions will enter Universe 10 together. Navigate to the entity's core. And destroy it from within. The Grand Priest's eyes gleamed. Only by attacking its heart can we eliminate it permanently. Kampa laughed nervously. You want mortals to solve this? Why not send us? Because you can't survive inside the entity. It feeds on divine energy. You'd be consumed before reaching the core. The Grand Priest gestured. Mortals have advantage. Lower energy signature. Harder for the entity to detect and counter. Frieza's mind raced. A tournament. Champions. High stakes. This was test. Not just of the entity. Of them. The destroyers. How they chose. How they strategized. When do we select our champions? Belmont asked. You have 24 hours. Choose wisely. Choose warriors who can adapt. Who can work together despite coming from different universes. The Grand Priest's gaze swept across them, because if they fail, Universe 10 dies. And the entity spreads to Universe 9. Then 8. Then eventually all of existence. Zeno spoke for first time. Small voice. Scared. Please stop the bad thing. We don't want to erase everything. Every destroyer's blood ran cold. If Zeno had to intervene personally, they'd fail. All of them. Understood, said quietly. We'll select our champions. Good. The Grand Priest began to fade. Return here in 24 hours. With your chosen warriors. We'll brief them together. He vanished. The Zeniths vanished. The destroyer gods looked at each other. Then chaos erupted. I'm choosing Jiren's successor. Belmont declared. Well, I'm taking hit. Kampa shot back. The Pride Troopers produced the strongest warriors. Universe 6 has superior martial artists. Frieza tuned them out. His mind was already working. Analyzing. Calculating. Who would he choose? Goku was obvious choice. Proven warrior. Experience fighting cosmic threats. Ultra instinct gave him edge against unknowable enemies. But Goku was also impulsive. Led with heart overhead. Made emotional choices. Vegeta then? Tactical. Ruthless when necessary. Royal Blue and Ultra Ego combination made him formidable. But Vegeta's pride could be liability. Refusing to cooperate. Insisting on fighting alone. Piccolo? Strategic thinker. Calm under pressure. Not strong enough for this caliber of threat. Gohan? Tremendous potential. Squandered through complacency. Android 17? Clever. Resourceful. Won the tournament of power. Interesting option. But, Frieza's eyes narrowed. An idea formed. Terrible. Brilliant. Completely unexpected. He smiled. That smile that meant someone's world was about to end. Whis. We're going to Earth. Of course, Lord Frieza. Which warrior will you select? The one who'll hate me most for choosing him. They materialized in Capsule Corp's gravity chamber. Vegeta was training. Of course. The prince never stopped. Pushing himself. Grinding against limitations. He was in base form. Throwing punches at training dummies that exploded on contact. Sweat poured down his face. Muscles corded like steel cable. He sensed them immediately. Spun. Power level spiked. You, one word. Dripping venom. Me, Frieza agreed pleasantly. We need to talk. I have nothing to say to you. Vegeta turned back to training. Fired ki blast that vaporized 3 dummies. Get out. I'm selecting you as my champion. Vegeta froze. Slowly turned back around. What? There's a crisis. Multiversal threat. Each destroyer must choose one warrior to combat it. Frieza's tail swished. I'm choosing you. Choose Kakarot. He loves this stuff. I don't want Goku. I want you. Vegeta stared. Why? Because you're better suited for what's required. Frieza began walking slow circle around him. This isn't simple combat. It's infiltration. Strategy. Adapting to unknown threats in hostile environment. Goku would charge in recklessly. You'll think first. Flattery won't work on me. I'm not flattering. I'm being practical. Frieza stopped circling. You're also the only warrior on Earth who truly understands what's at stake. Who can make hard decisions without hesitation. Vegeta's jaw tightened. And if I refuse, then I choose someone else. Probably Android 17. He's clever enough. Frieza examined his fingernails casually. But you'll know you chicken out. That fear stopped you from proving Saiyans can fight alongside gods as equals. The manipulation was blatant. Obvious. Vegeta saw through it immediately. Didn't matter. His pride wouldn't allow refusal. When do we leave? He asked through clenched teeth. 23 hours. I need to prepare you first. Frieza gestured. Whis will train you in techniques specifically designed for fighting reality-warping entities. You'll need to learn divine energy resistance, dimensional awareness, psychic shielding, in 23 hours? Impossible. The hyperbolic time chamber exists. Use it. Frieza's eyes gleamed. I'm giving you tools to survive, Prince. I suggest you take advantage. Vegeta glared at him, pure hatred radiating, but also curiosity, and buried deep, so deep he never admitted, respect. Fine. I'll do it. Vegeta powered up. Blue aura crackling. But not for you. For my pride. To prove Saiyans belong in this fight, your motivation is irrelevant. Results matter. Frieza turned to leave. Whis will remain here to train you. Don't disappoint me, Vegeta. I'd hate to watch you die screaming because you were unprepared. I won't die. Good. See that you don't. Frieza vanished, left Vegeta standing in gravity chamber. Fists clenched. Power radiating, already planning, already strategizing, already determined to prove himself. Perfect. 24 hours later, World of Void. All 12 destroyers assembled. Each with their chosen champion. Frieza examined the competition. Universe 1, a crystalline being named Aeos. Female. Serene expression. Power level reading as pure energy given form. Universe 2, warrior named Pell. Angelic appearance. Massive wings. Holy energy radiating. Universe 3, cyborg called Majikeo. Liquid metal body. Adaptive capabilities obvious. Universe 4, Shansa. Fox-like being. Psychic energy practically visible around him. Universe 5, Agma. Muscular brute. Simple but strong. Universe 6, Hit. Of course. The legendary assassin. Arms crossed. Expression unreadable. Universe 7, Vegeta. Looking supremely irritated. Universe 8, Lakir had chosen some fighter Frieza didn't recognize. Tall. Green skin. Forearms. Universe 9, Basil. The kicking fighter from Tournament of Power. Universe 10, None. Their universe was being consumed. Rumshi stood alone. Face carved from grief. Universe 11, Khosrol. Pride Trooper. Not Jiren's level but formidable. Universe 12, another unknown. Female. Blue skin. Energy reading suggested magic user. 10 champions total. Vegeta noticed Hit immediately. His expression shifted. Recognition. Wariness. The assassin noticed him back. Nodded fractionally. Professional acknowledgement. The Grand Priest materialized center stage. Thank you all for gathering. Your champions have been selected. Now we brief them on what they face. He gestured. The hologram of Universe 10 appeared, showing the corrupted galaxies. This is your enemy, the corruption. An entity that feeds on reality itself. The champions watched silently. Some showed fear. Others determination. A few, like Hit and Vegeta, showed nothing at all. You will enter Universe 10 together. Navigate through corrupted space. Reach the entity's core. And destroy it. The Grand Priest's voice was grave. You cannot use brute force. The corruption adapts to direct attacks. You must find its weakness. Explode it. Eliminate it permanently. How do we find the core? Hit asked. First to speak, follow the corruption. It spreads from central point. That point is your target. The Grand Priest manipulated the hologram. But be warned. The deeper you go, the more reality breaks down. Physics won't work properly. Time becomes fluid. Space folds incorrectly. Your minds will be tested as much as your bodies. Vegeta's expression tightened. And if we fail, Universe 10 is erased. The corruption spreads. Eventually consumes all 12 universes. The Grand Priest let that sink in. This is not tournament for glory. This is survival. For everyone. Silence. Heavy. Oppressive. Then Aos spoke. Melodic voice. When do we depart? Immediately. You'll be transported to Universe 10's edge. From there, you proceed together. The Grand Priest looked at each champion. I suggest you introduce yourselves. Learn each other's capabilities. You'll need to cooperate to survive. The champions began gravitating toward each other, awkward, uncertain, warriors from different universes, different philosophies, different fighting styles, forced to work together. Vegeta stood apart, arms crossed, refusing to socialize. Hit approached him. Saiyan Prince. We meet again, assassin. Vegeta's tone was neutral. You won last time we fought properly. Different circumstances now. We're allies. Temporary allies. Allies nonetheless? Hit's hands slid into pockets. I've heard about you. Pride. Strength. Tactical mind. Good qualities for this mission. Don't try to befriend me. Wouldn't dream of it. Just establishing working relationship. Hit glanced at others. We're outnumbered. Universe 6 and 7 should coordinate. Vegeta considered this. Made sense. Much as he hated admitting it. Fine. But I lead Universe 7's contribution to strategy. Acceptable. I lead Universe SIXS. They nodded at each other. Understanding reached. Frieza watched from destroyer platform. Smiled slightly. He's adapting, Whis observed. He's practical. Knows when ego serves and when it hinders. Frieza's tail swished. He'll do well. Assuming the corruption doesn't drive him insane first. You sound confident. I am. Vegeta survived worse than reality corruption. Frieza's eyes gleamed. He survived me, after all. The Grand Priest raised his hands. Champions? Are you ready? They assembled. 10 warriors. 10 universes represented. All facing same threat. Ready, AOs confirmed. The Grand Priest's power gathered. Then go. Save Universe 10. Save all of existence. And may you find strength in each other when reality fails you. Light exploded. The champions vanished. Transported to the edge of corrupted space. The destroyers watched through holographic display. Saw them materialize in the void. Floating in space at Universe 10's border. And beyond them, the corruption. Black tendrils spreading through stars. Galaxies twisted into impossible shapes. Reality itself bending like heat mirage. Frieza leaned forward. This would be interesting. Universe 10's edge. Vegeta materialized in vacuum. Immediately activated protective aura. Blue energy shielding him from void. The others did similar. Various techniques maintaining survival in space. He looked around. The corruption was visible. Massive dark mass consuming everything it touched. Stars went black as tendrils reached them. Planets dissolved. Space itself was cracking. By the Kais, Basil whispered. It's huge. Focus. Hit's voice cut through shock. Panicking helps nothing. We assess. We plan. We execute. Khazarel nodded. Agreed. The Pride Troopers believe in systematic approach. Survey the enemy first. Vegeta studied the corruption carefully. His enhanced senses, sharpened through Whis' training, detected patterns. The way it moved. How it spread. There was intelligence guiding it. Not random consumption. Purposeful expansion. It's searching for something, he said. The others turned to him. What makes you say that? Aos asked. Look at the spread pattern. It's not consuming uniformly. It's probing. Testing. Sending tendrils in specific directions. Vegeta pointed. There. See how it's concentrating around that galaxy cluster? That's deliberate. Hit nodded slowly. You're right. It's hunting. Hunting what? The four-armed fighter from Universe 8, Catapesla, asked nervously. Divine energy probably. Or high concentrations of life force. Vegeta's jaw tightened. Doesn't matter. We need to move before it detects us. How? Pell flexed his wings. We don't know where the core is. Then we follow the densest concentration. Where the corruption is thickest. Vegeta powered up slightly. That's where we'll find what we're looking for, Shansa chittered. The Fox Psychic's mental voice echoed in their minds. The Scion speaks wisdom. We should proceed carefully. Agreed, Aos said. I'll take point. My energy form can sense reality distortions before we encounter them. I'll cover rear, Hit volunteered. My time manipulation might counter temporal anomalies, Vegeta grunted. Fine. I'll handle mid-range threats. The rest of you stay alert. Watch each other's backs. The moment reality starts breaking down, call it out. They moved forward as group, 10 warriors entering Nightmare. The first few kilometers were manageable. Space was space. Stars were stars. Physics worked normally. Then they crossed threshold. Reality hiccuped. Vegeta felt it immediately. His stomach lurched. Direction became meaningless. Up was sideways. Forward was backward. His inner ear screamed confusion. Everyone steady. Ao's called. Her crystalline form glowed brighter. The spatial fabric is damaged here. Anchor to each other. Don't trust your senses. They clustered closer. Vegeta grabbed Basil's shoulder. Basil grabbed Khazarul. They formed chain, using each other as reference points when environment couldn't be trusted. The corruption was visible now, closer, black tendrils reaching through space like grasping fingers. Where they touched reality, things broke. Stars aged billions of years in seconds, then de-aged back to primordial gas. Planets existed and didn't exist simultaneously. Madness given physical form. Keep moving, Hit urged. Don't look directly at the anomalies. They'll disorient you. Too late. Maji Ko made mistake of watching tendril consume a star. His liquid metal body began oscillating, shifting between solid and liquid states uncontrollably. His form stretched, compressed. Reality around him was overriding his nature. Help him! Ao's commanded. Vegeta acted instantly, fired precise ki blast at Maji Ko. Not to damage, to shock his system. Reset his molecular structure through external stimulus. It worked. The cyborg solidified. Gasped. Thank you? Don't look at it, Vegeta repeated Hit's warning. Eyes forward. Focus on goal. They continued, deeper. The corruption grew denser. Reality broke down further. Time became fluid. Vegeta experienced moments out of sequence. Saw himself taking steps he hadn't taken yet. Felt impacts from attacks that hadn't landed. Heard conversations that were still seconds in the future. Disorienting. Nauseating. But he pushed through. Saiyan pride refusing to show weakness. The others struggled similarly. Pell's wings kept changing color, phasing between dimensions. He gritted his teeth. Forced them stable through willpower. Agma was experiencing gravity randomly reversing. He tumbled. Caught himself. Kept moving. Shance's psychic abilities were going haywire. He clutched his fox head. Mental shield straining. How much further? Basil asked. Voice strained. Unknown, Hit replied. His usually calm demeanor was cracking. Even the legendary assassin was affected. But we must be close. The corruption is thickest here. Then they saw it. The core. A massive structure floating in corrupted space. Not physical. Made of pure anti-reality. Black sphere drinking light. Consuming everything. Growing larger with each passing second. And around it, guardians. Corrupted beings. Former inhabitants of Universe 10 who'd been consumed and repurposed. Twisted versions of what they'd been. Eyes empty. Movements jerky. Serving the corruption now. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. We fight through, Khazarul said. Drawing his weapon. Justice demands we. No. Vegeta's voice was sharp. Look at them. Really look. The others did. The corrupted beings were powerful. Each one radiating energy equivalent to seasoned fighter. And they were coordinated. Moving as one organism. We can't fight them all, Hit assessed. There's too many. We'd be overwhelmed. Then we don't fight. Vegeta's mind raced. We sneak. Use stealth. Get to the core without engaging. Stealth? Agma laughed. We're warriors. Not thieves. Hit's an assassin. He understands stealth. Vegeta looked at the purple alien. Can you get us past them? Hit studied the guardian patterns, watched how they moved, found the gaps. Yes. But it requires perfect timing. Everyone moves exactly when I signal. No deviation. One mistake and we're detected. Ao's nodded. We trust your expertise, then follow me. Single file. Mask your energy completely. No aura. No power spikes. Become invisible. They suppress their ki. dropped power levels to baseline, became whispers in corrupted space. Hit led them forward, moving between patrol patterns, timing movements to guardian rotations, exploiting blind spots in the corruption's awareness. Vegeta followed directly behind, impressed despite himself. The assassin was master of his craft. Every step calculated, every pause timed perfectly. They wove through corrupted beings like ghosts. 50 meters from the core, 40, 30, almost there. Then Basil sneezed. The sound echoed. Every corrupted guardian turned, empty eyes fixed on them. Run! Hit commanded. They ran, straight toward the core. Stealth abandoned. Speed was survival now. The guardians pursued, dozens of corrupted beings, moving with inhuman speed. Reality warping around them, creating barriers, obstacles, traps. Vegeta blasted through barrier, grabbed Basil, threw him forward. Move faster! Explosions erupted around them. The Guardians were attacking. Not with ki, with corruption itself. Tendrils of anti-reality reaching, trying to consume them, convert them. Pell's wing got caught, started dissolving. He screamed. Ayo's fired beam of pure energy cut the tendril. Keep going. 20 meters. The core was massive up close, pulsing with malevolent intelligence, aware of their approach. 10 meters. The corruption itself was responding now. The black sphere was extending tendrils. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Creating wall of corruption between them and goal. Blast through. Khosrow roared. They unleashed everything. Vegeta fired final flash. Blue energy tearing through corruption. Hit used time manipulation. Froze tendrils mid-movement. Ayo's became living laser, cutting reality with precision. The others added their power. Combined assault. They carved opening. 5 meters. 3, 1. Vegeta reached the core first. Touched it. Everything stopped. Frieza watched through hologram. Saw Vegeta make contact with the core. Saw the prince's body go rigid. What's happening? Kampa demanded. The Grand Priest's expression was unreadable. The core is interfacing with him, testing his mind, his will. Will he survive? That depends entirely on Vegeta. Inside Vegeta's mind, he stood in throne room, King Vegeta's throne room, on planet Vegeta, before the destruction. Everything was exactly as he remembered. The banners, the armor displays, the throne itself where his father had ruled, and there, sitting on the throne, was Frieza, young Frieza. Pre-transformation. White skin. Purple bioarmor. That smug expression. Hello, Prince, the vision said. Did you miss me? Vegeta's fists clenched. You're not real. Your memory. Trauma given form. Oh, I'm very real. I'm the core's defense mechanism. I've accessed your deepest fears. Your greatest regrets. Vision Frieza stood. Walked toward him. And what do I find? That despite everything, despite your power, your pride, your growth, you're still that frightened child watching his world die. Shut up. Make me. Vision Frieza smiled. Oh wait. You can't. Because deep down, you still fear me. Still remember how helpless you were. How I took everything from you. Vegeta's power exploded. Royal Blue activated. I said shut up. He attacked. Fist met face. Vision Frieza caught it casually. Still so predictable. Still letting anger control you. The vision twisted. Changed. Became something worse. Became Vegeta himself. Same face. Same armor. Same expression. Your real enemy isn't me, other Vegeta said. It's you. Your pride. Your fear of inadequacy. Your desperate need to prove yourself. It smiled with his smile. You'll never be free. Never be strong enough. Never surpass Kakarot. Never escape your past. Wrong. The word came out calm. Certain. Vegeta stopped attacking. Stood tall. You're right about one thing. I carry my past. My fear. My pride. All of it. He met his own eyes. But that doesn't make me weak. It makes me stronger. Delusion. Truth. Vegeta's aura shifted. Became solid. Unshakable. I know what I am. What I've been. What I'm becoming. I don't run from it anymore. Don't hide behind excuses. He stepped closer. I am Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans. Survivor of genocide. Warrior who's died and returned. Fighter who's faced gods and lived. Other Vegeta flickered. And you, Vegeta pointed, are nothing. A trick. A test. The core trying to break me. He powered up fully, royal blue and ultra ego combined. But I don't break. He struck, not with fist, with will. Pure mental force rejecting the illusion. Refusing its reality. Denying the core's power over his mind. Other Vegeta shattered. The throne room dissolved. Everything became white light. Then darkness. Then, Vegeta's eyes snapped open. He was still touching the core. But something had changed. The core was wounded. He could feel it. His mental resistance had damaged it somehow. Created crack in its defenses. Now! He roared. Hit it now while it's vulnerable. The others didn't hesitate. Combined assault on the crack. Every technique. Every power. Everything they had. The core began fracturing. Black surface splitting. Light bleeding through cracks. The corruption screamed. Actual sound that shouldn't exist in vacuum but did anyway. Reality around them went insane. Time reversed. Fast forwarded. Stopped completely. Space folded into impossible geometries. Laws of physics became suggestions. But they kept attacking, pouring everything into the damaged core. The crack widened. Became canyon. Became chasm. The core's center was visible now. Pulsing heart of anti-reality. The source of all corruption. Vegeta gathered every ounce of power. Royal blue. Ultra ego. Everything Whis had taught him. Everything he'd learned fighting gods. Compressed it into single point. Final flash. The beam tore through reality itself. Struck the core's heart. Obliterated it. The core exploded. Not with fire. With absence. Everything the corruption had consumed was released simultaneously. Matter. Energy. Time. Space. All of it rushing back into proper reality. The shockwave threw them backwards. Vegeta tumbled through space. Lost consciousness briefly. Came to seconds later floating in void. The corruption was gone. Completely. Universe 10 space was healing. Reality reasserting itself. Stars returning to normal. Galaxies reforming into proper shapes. They'd won. Is everyone alive? AOs called out. Responses came. Weak. Exhausted. But present. All 10 champions survived. The Grand Priest's voice echoed through space. Well done. You've saved Universe 10. Saved all existence. Return now. You've earned your rest. Light enveloped them, pulled them back. World of void. The champions materialized. Collapsed immediately. Exhausted beyond measure. Vegeta hit the platform hard. Didn't care. Every muscle screamed. His energy was completely depleted, but they'd won. The destroyers were standing. Some applauding. Others nodding approval. Frieza descended from his throne. Walked to Vegeta. Extended hand. Well done, Prince. Vegeta stared at the hand. At Frieza's genuine expression. At the respect in those purple eyes. He took the hand. Let Frieza pull him to feet. You chose well, Vegeta admitted grudgingly. I know. Frieza released his hand. You performed exactly as predicted. Broke through mental assault. Identified the weakness. Led the final attack. His smile was sharp. You've proven Saiyans belong in divine conflicts. Don't let it go to your head. Wouldn't dream of it. The Grand Priest addressed all champions. You have our gratitude. Universe 10 survives because of your courage. Your cooperation. Your willingness to face the impossible together. The Zeniths appeared. Both of them clapping excitedly. That was fun to watch. One said. Very exciting. The other agreed. They approached Vegeta specifically. You were very brave. Touching the scary thing, Vegeta bowed awkwardly. Thank you, Lord Zeno. We like you. You can come play anytime. Frieza's suppressed laugh at Vegeta's horrified expression. The champions were dismissed. Sent back to their universes to recover. Vegeta found himself back in Capsule Corporation Gravity Chamber. Exactly where he'd started. Bulma was waiting. She took one look at him, bloody, exhausted, barely standing, and rushed over. What happened? You look terrible. Save the multiverse. Vegeta collapsed into her arms. No big deal. You're impossible. She helped him toward medical bay. Tell me everything. He did, while she patched him up. Cleaned his wounds. Monitored his vital signs. He told her about the corruption. The Guardians. The mental battle. The final victory. She listened. Asked questions. Supported him. When he finished, she kissed his forehead. I'm proud of you. It was just a mission. It was you being a hero. Again. She smiled. Even if you were chosen by Frieza, Vegeta grunted. He's different now. Still arrogant. Still dangerous. But purposeful. Focused. He closed his eyes. Almost like he's actually becoming what he claims to be, a god of destruction? Something like that. Bulma was quiet moment. Then, do you think he'll really destroy Earth if we stop growing? Yes. No hesitation. He meant every word. If we stagnate, he'll erase us without mercy. Then I guess we better keep improving. I guess we better. Beerus's planet. Frieza stood at the edge, watching stars. Whis approached. The other destroyers were impressed with your choice. Vegeta exceeded expectations. He exceeded my expectations too. Frieza's tail swished. I chose him thinking he'd be adequate. Turns out he was exceptional. Will you tell him that? Absolutely not. His ego is insufferable already. Frieza smiled slightly. But I'll remember. When I make future evaluations of Earth. Of Saiyan potential. Of whether that world deserves continued existence. You're growing attached. I'm being practical. Earth produces valuable warriors. Destroying it would waste resources. Frieza glanced at Whis. Don't read more into it than exists. Of course not, Lord Frieza. They stood in comfortable silence. Then Frieza spoke again. The core showed him his fears. His traumas. Everything I'd done to him. His voice was quiet. And he overcame it. Not by forgetting. Not by forgiving. By accepting and moving forward. Does that bother you? It should. Knowing he's processed his hatred. Moved past it. Frieza's fist clenched. But instead I feel relieved. Like some debt has been paid without my knowledge. You're changing, Lord Frieza. Whether you acknowledge it or not, perhaps. Frieza turned away from the stars. Or perhaps I'm simply learning what real power means. What it costs. What it creates. He walked back toward his chambers. Left was smiling in the starlight. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. New evaluations. New opportunities to prove himself. But tonight he'd proven something important. That his choices mattered. That his judgment was sound. That maybe, just maybe, he was becoming the god he claimed to be. The transformation continued, as it always would, for millennia to come.